Well, good morning, everybody. I'm not here, nobody's here with me right now, but that's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. Just gonna go over here and check and see if there's anybody on. Don't see anybody. The Mark Barker is upbound, should be up here within about, let's say 15, 20 minutes. I would like to go get it, but I'm here by myself. I'm here by myself. If anybody would like to join the panel, please do so. Right, Mia? Jonathan, hey, how you doing? Good morning. We've got a few people watching us, but you're the only one that's responded so far, Jonathan. Thank you so much for at least saying hello. It's gonna be probably a slow Friday morning. It may pick up a little bit later. But like I say, I was kind of hoping to catch a ship that's coming upbound, but we'll give it a few minutes and see if anybody joins me on the panel. I know Mia, yes. What are you thinking? You're such a good girl. Yes, you are just such a good girl. Buddy. You're always panting now, whatever. I think the panting is probably because you're not feeling well. Yeah, I know. I know. Hello, Jonathan. Yeah, we're about 4 minutes before we normally would start. Here comes Justin.
Still
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
good.
What's going on down there? Anything?
Not much. Just still waking up a little bit.
Did you play Fortnite all night long, or
Yeah, I went to bed. I just got up a little while ago.
Jonathan? Hey, how you doing, Jonathan? Oh, how that's kind of a scary buddy there behind you.
Yes. I don't know.
Can you
His
hear us all
audio's.
right?
I don't know if his audio's working.
No, we
No,
can't
no
hear.
audio.
No audio.
We can't hear you. I think he can hear us. We just can't hear him.
Connecting to audio. It said.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
There you go.
I started not to come on because I ain't shaved, man. I'm looking like this guy behind me right now. How you doing this morning, Paul?
We're hanging in here. Jason just came and Justin just came and jumped online here, and we've got Shariko is in the chat.
I can't see the
Oh,
chat. Good
Warren.
morning, everybody in the chat.
Just Warren right now. I don't think anybody else is in there yet. Yeah. He said, sometimes my dog just stares at me intently. Is it love, affection, or does she think I'm a giant pork chop?
Just a minute, I'll be right back.
You feeding your dog regularly?
Get back.
If not, then they're gonna think you that pork chop. Justin, how's Sarah doing, man?
She's doing good.
She
I
good?
mean, for the most part, I mean, she's still hurting, but it's okay.
Yeah, I spoke to her a couple of days ago. Check on her.
Still don't know what's causing that pain. They're assuming it's the thyroid, so
She
acting up
need,
again. So, because her levels went back up again on that.
she need a vacation. I told her she need to take about 7 days, just rest, just rest. Sometimes you gotta recharge yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that though. Figure it out though, hopefully.
All right.
I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
Who else we got on? It's just us. You see the chat, Justin? I can't see the chat. I don't know who's doing that. Where'd everybody go? Yeah. Good morning, people. If you're in the chat, I cannot see the chat. Paul disappeared, Justin disappeared. Just me and Rampage. Let's see. Rule for the day. You got a Mini 3 Pro, 97 degree, don't fly. Rule 2 for the day. Get your water in, guys. Justin Paul, come on, man. Y'all know I'm not the yeah.
The
I ain't never did the host thing.
Jonathan, one of my little squirrel buddies got hit out in the street, and I had to go recover him. Because I looked out the window and I see him flopping around on the street. So I went out. He was still warm, and I grabbed him and I put him in the trash.
What was it?
A squirrel, black squirrel.
Somebody ran him over?
Yep.
Oh dang. God bless.
And, you know, he got hit. His eyeballs, one eyeball was out of socket, and you know.
Yeah.
And it was bleeding. It was bleeding from the mouth.
I've seen that many times.
This time of the day, people are just driving like maniacs up and down the street. They don't pay attention to any squirrels or anything going back and forth crossing.
Yeah, anytime I see one in the street, I grab my shovel and put them to the grass or something. Rather than letting them become a pancake.
Yeah, exactly. Squished. Hey, Captain Joe.
Cap.
I got a full house. I got a full house this morning.
You got a pull out, what?
We getting there. We getting there.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're getting here. Where'd Justin go?
Not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in my back.
Yeah, you
You're
do.
here. You're here, Joe.
Yeah, I'm still
I just had to
I'm
go
still
out.
buffering though.
Just had to go out and clean up a squirrel that was killed. I looked out my window and I see this squirrel flopping around, jumping around in the middle of the street, jumping around. By the time I walked out
Yeah.
there to grab him, he was still warm, but his one eyeball was out of the socket and he gotten clipped.
Roadkill.
Yeah, and he was bleeding from the mouth. What do you want?
They make some
And
jambalaya with that.
Mia, of course, is being a typical woman. What the hell's the matter with you?
So, Jonathan.
USA. So you moving?
Yeah, man.
You relocate?
Me, Johnny, and Captain Ray.
You taking Johnny with you?
Yeah, me, Johnny, and Captain Ray. We're gonna go to Ukraine.
Yeah, no.
I sent it to Captain Ray this morning, and he said, "Let's bring Johnny with us. Let's all go."
Look, and crash your drone into something is exactly what they want you to do. What the hell is that?
That's all they want. Hey, I tell you what, I was 30 years younger. I think about it.
You went?
Hey, man, them women over there hot.
It's a couple years ago. A guy from our drone community actually went over there.
Yeah, I know.
Shit, who the hell was that?
Can't remember who he is either. But
I haven't spoken
I
to
tell
him
you
in a
what,
while.
some of those Ukrainian women over there are pretty hot.
See,
30 years ago, I'd have went.
That what you want to go over there for? You might as well just go to Hawaii and call it Christmas.
Well, I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. I already know. The worst part, I was married when I lived in Hawaii. I was in the Marines, and I was married, and I was shooting pictures for 3 different modeling agencies.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was a tough job. She told me one night, she says, "Well, I know you're cheating on me." And I said, "All you got to do is come with me. I got to shoot this weekend. Got 18 girls. Come on." She came out there. Yeah, she brought. I said, "Bring 6 sets of clothes." She brought 6 sets of clothes. I said, "I'm gonna work you in the rotation."
Right.
We worked her in and everything. When it was over with, she looked at me and she said, "I'll never tell you nothing again." She says, she says she broke a sweat. I said, "Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no time to fool around with anything. Because you got to get these pictures done, you know?"
Oh, so she figured you was coming home sweaty every night. You was out there doing your thing.
Well, she thought I was doing something. Now I did tell her. I said, "Now I got one girl you got to worry about. She's the girl who does the B97 commercial over there at the time."
You weren't supposed
I
to
said,
tell her.
no, I told her, I said, "Now that girl," because she was out of reach. That was all it was. I would never shoot her picture, anything. So I said, "If I ever have that one to shoot, watch out." I said, "Because I'm going to go after her like that." And she said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Like this.
She said, "Go ahead," right? I get a call one day at work. The girl from the B97 commercial, she needs a Victoria's Secret layout.
Oh Lord.
And she asked me, "We got to have it. It's got to be in by Friday." It was Tuesday. And I said, "Hold on a minute. Let me see my schedule." I looked at it and I said, "Hold on a minute." I called my wife. I said, I got an important shoot tonight. It's all right. Y'all be all right?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So I got back on the phone with the girl and said, "This is where I'll meet you at. This is where the studio's at. I'll meet you there and we'll do it tonight."
Mm-hmm.
Just bring everything. We'll get it done. I'll have everything processed by tomorrow, and I'll have everything overnighted into LA on Thursday. She goes,
Right.
"Okay, that's good." So we're all set, right? So this is back in 1982.
Hold on. 82. Okay, go ahead. I just had to remember where I was in 82.
Okay, 1982, right? Paying me $3,000 to shoot this layout of 30 outfits. It's like 30 pictures. $3,000, a lot of money back then. So we walk in, she hands me the check already set up for me
Mhm.
and everything. And a friend of mine, Frankie Knox, a staff sergeant that worked with me, says, who are you shooting tonight? And I said, the B-97 girl. He said, man, I got to come see this. I want to see that girl. I said, yeah. I said, but let me explain to you. You better be 100% professional or I'll run you out of there. And he goes, okay, I promise. I mean, he's a real good friend of mine. He wound up retiring as Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps. A real good friend of mine. So we get there, the girl comes out and they've got a room to the side where she could change. She rolls the rack out. Okay. Now the girl is about 5 foot tall. Absolutely gorgeous. Rolls the rack out, all the clothes right there. And she comes out with one of the outfits on, one of Victoria's Secret outfits on. We set up the pose because they gave me the list of how they want the poses. So I set it up. We shot the pose. It only takes about a minute apiece. I was only there about 40 minutes. So I set it up, shot the picture, right?
Mhm.
Pulls the top off, throws it
Yeah,
on the rack,
right.
grabs
By
another
the
one.
way,
She's
I
standing
can't hear
there in
anyone, so I'm
underwear.
going to put my earbuds in. So
Frankie
if you want to be
Knox.
an asshole, now is the time.
Reaches over, hits the pole, knocks the light down, and breaks the light. I looked over at Frank and he says, I'll see you tomorrow. He left. He just walked out. He said, I couldn't stay there anymore.
He couldn't take it.
He couldn't take it.
Oh my
So,
God,
so,
it's a
so,
massive
so we
gorilla.
get all the pictures done. And I didn't think we are going to be that fast. So I processed all the pictures that night. So I called up and said, look, I'm running late. I probably won't get into about 1 in the morning. I said, just go to bed. You lay that to my wife, right?
Mhm.
About 1:30, I come walking in. I got all the pictures in a folder. And on top, no, you got to hit it. All the pictures in the folder and on top of my dresser. All the 8x10s and all the stuff we've got, the film and everything they need, right?
Mhm.
She gets up, she reaches over, kisses me, goes to the bathroom, comes back, and I hear her thumbing through them like that. She walked over, knocked the shit out of me. She said, you ain't never come home this late. It's that girl from B-97. And I said, well, here's the check. Leave me alone.
Morning, Scallywags.
The
is my
twist
audio
of the
okay?
story is that Joe's wife wouldn't have been so mad, except for most of the pictures were stuck together.
And they weren't stuck together.
Hey,
If I'd have
Michael,
put the check on top, she
on
probably
the
wouldn't even
dresser.
look through them.
You wanted to get in trouble.
good morning, Michael.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I'd
hi.
have put the
Michael,
check
it
on
might
top
be
first, that
afternoon.
probably would have been good.
Is my audio working, Paul?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Brilliant. Thank you. You lucky people.
Donald, what's good?
I was just, working, trying to make a dollar.
I can tell. Well, I can see them notches in your forehead. We
Yeah,
always know
I do. I
working,
frown a
you got
lot.
the notches.
Whenever I'm concentrating, I look like I'm just pissed off at the world, don't I? I've noticed that when I'm flying, and I fly back. If I save the footage, if I keep recording as I fly back to myself, I'm always looking just angry.
Now
So-
that's
Well,
your constant.
haven't you noticed, Donald, that nobody comes and sees you when you're flying?
Right, it keeps the Karens away. They're like, holy crap, that guy's pissed.
That's your concentration notch. They call it a concentration notch. Anytime somebody's concentrating, there's something specific about them that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
It would be better for your general complexion and look, Don, if you got a mask. If you could get some kind of thing
Right
to
here,
put to
Don.
wear.
They're right there.
Yeah.
You see,
Right
you
there.
see,
Yeah, just put it on.
you see that go? You see that crease right there, and you're it's like,
Mhm.
yeah.
You need a prosthetic
See, Ryan?
frown.
I got one.
Yeah, you
Oh,
got
yeah.
one too, bro.
I
got
have
one,
an
too.
extra one. Where is it? It is on this side. No, this where I fell on a coffee table when I was a kid. I've got a scar
Oh, yeah, I see.
right there,
There,
Yeah.
that's it.
and
To the left.
Hey, Don, do me a favor. Don't ever get that close to the camera again.
why?
Yeah.
You don't like this? I'm beautiful.
No, I'm joking.
I've got a huge
I'm
scar.
looking away.
that's,
Look away.
But I was born with it.
I'm gonna
Between-
do a favor for you, Joe. Keep watching.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Oh, it's dark. It's dark, but there's my nipple. There's my nipple. Oh, it's a shame that it's under my shirt. It's so dark. Oh, but look at it, Joe.
Wait, Justin will be
looking
on
at
in a
it?
minute. Wait, show it
What
to
did I
Justin, show
just
it to
come back
Justin.
into?
Oh, fuck knows. No one would blame you for leaving.
Laura said, shut up, Don.
All I heard is Donald something about a petite nipple.
Well,
What is that about?
what's that about? What's that about?
Well, I didn't see Don's nipple, but I'm sure it was very nice. You know.
It was more a theater of the mind.
Okay.
No, the little,
Pretty sure he's
little,
actually showed his nipple on panel.
Oh, I
before.
guarantee if you wanted to find my nipple, you can find it.
I'm pretty sure you showed it on Bill's once before.
Low. This stream is getting demonetized quick.
Why are we looking at your forehead?
Oh,
Alexis flashed her boobs on Bill's show once. That was a good moment.
She actually flashed her.
Well, not her
bare
actual boobs, but no, not her bare boobs. Her brassiere cradled,
bosom.
yeah, devil pillows. It was impressive. I got to say, I mean, it's not bad.
You said devil pillows?
Devil's pillows, yeah. It's just a silly bit of call it.
No, that might have scared me.
I've heard them called that on a film somewhere. I think Devil's pillows.
So where's Lance at? Need to talk to him about that piece of shit Avada drone.
I hate it.
I think it was,
You might still be on Tim's. I don't know if Tim's still on yet. I mean, still
he was
on.
on Tim's early this morning. I don't think he's still on there though.
Excuse
So
me.
yesterday I almost crashed another one, right?
Another
I'm
Avada?
very close. The regular Avada. You look at this right here. This is where I was. So I got a complete line of sight all the way through, right?
All right.
And I get down here and I said, well, if I go any further, I'll probably lose connection. Let me come back. So I turned right here to come back down the street. And then I was going to cut back across.
Mhm.
And as I got right here, I completely lost all my feed. So
Yeah,
I don't have anything here.
You was behind all of them houses. You put all them
Yeah, that's what
houses
happened.
in
So
the middle of your.
Yep.
But wait, I started to go higher. So I'm high enough that I should have still picked it up. When I got right here, I lost everything. And you see that tree?
Mm-hmm.
It wound up crashing into that tree.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, so you did crash another one?
Yeah, up into
Joe,
that tree.
Just looking at that, if you crashed into that tree, the height of that tree and the distance there's no way that you were within VLOS.
I was right here.
Where you crashed was not in
Tell that,
VLOS.
Doc.
Yeah, but when I turned, that's when I was going to turn around and come
Right.
back. And
Oh,
watch it
but
come back.
then you went beyond visual line of sight and crashed it.
Hey,
Hang on,
so
where were you stood?
lost connection.
Right.
Where were you?
After you went beyond visual line of sight.
Oh, okay.
You know,
right
that
there.
visual line of sight
Yeah.
also applies to your telemetry, to your signal.
And the structures in between.
Right. That visual line of sight has to do with your signal as well as your eyesight.
I agree. But I've
You
never
keep on saying
had a drone.
that it's
never
just
had a drone lose
just-
like that
like
coming back.
you can't really blame the drone for that.
One of the signals though
you
is
down to
better
one
for
Avada now.
bouncing.
Wait, well,
So
here,
either the
was that
5.8 or the 2.4 is better for penetration and bouncing off of things.
2.4 is
I
better,
don't know which. I can't remember.
but it was set on automatic, so it
that's-
should have automatically flipped.
Joe's got a point there though in the chat. There's no actual V loss in goggles from takeoff. That's why
Right.
you're supposed to
Oh, yeah.
technically have a spotter.
That is true.
Right?
But you didn't have a spotter, and you would have gone beyond visual line of sight for your spotter as well.
Right? I might have.
I'm just
Hey,
saying.
Mark, how you doing?
Just looking at that, I could see the second you made that turn, you put every one of those houses in between you and that drone. Of course, you're not getting a signal to it.
But you're supposed to. But I still get signal if I do the Air 3. I mean, the Air 2S. I've been down that street and never
What was your
lost signal.
altitude? I mean, if you were high
Oh.
enough, the houses wouldn't have been in the way.
That's
I
right.
have been.
But he
I
hit,
have been
he hit the
low
tree,
like
so
that.
he would have been at.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting at about
20.
6 feet.
Cover me,
I was
guys.
sitting
I'll
at
be
about
right
6
back.
feet. But I have been at
You-
6 feet. I've been at 6 feet with the.
While she had
with
line
the,
of sight, yeah.
With the Avata 2 and never behind houses, never lost.
Mhm.
I've been 6
You flown
feet
that same
with the
path
Mavic
behind all
3.
those houses?
Pretty close to the same.
Okay.
Things
Well,
I've been
really hard
behind.
to
I mean,
radio.
I will be honest and say I have gone beyond visual line of sight
Yeah.
with my drones with a single house. If I'm shooting a house and I go back and it gets in the way, and then I have to change. But that was a lot of houses.
Oh, yeah.
Does the
Donald,
signal, does it
Well,
change?
well,
Does the
well,
signal change according to how damp the area is, the humidity and whatnot? Does the
It's
ability?
supposed to be automatic where it goes back and forth.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
To
the
get better
The
humidity
thing
penetration.
will.
is you might have done it before, but
I just
It will,
did.
Mark.
you have a pretty much 50-50 chance you're either gonna lose signal or you're not gonna lose signal. You know, you
Mhm.
could fly there 10 times and 9 flights
Yeah.
will go perfect and then that
That's
one
right.
will
Yep.
just. So
But
it's
this is
and
the
then there's
Avata.
then there's so many like different variables that could pop up, you know, somebody could have ramped up their fucking router. I mean, it could have been
Yeah,
Could've been
schools out,
anything.
schools out,
Environments.
people home. You could be a lot more Wi-Fi signal going on in each of those houses. You don't know.
It could have been
It's
something
the
like that.
Avata.
But
Come
I've
on,
been
he's
in that same
beyond-
situation with a different drone and it didn't lose. It was just the Avata.
fucking JD. He's the Joe's
Yeah,
taking
I
over
saw
for
that.
Billy Mike.
He's beyond
No, I'm not.
visual
I'm not.
line
I'm
of
not
sight.
600 feet.
Donald.
I'm not at
That wasn't
600
him
feet, but I
flying
got
it.
port 107. It's a little different. I
That
can be
wasn't
at
Joe
600
flying
feet,
it. It was
depending.
some random guy he let fly it. He doesn't even know his name.
Yeah.
Donald,
Yeah,
can
I
you
had a
see my
visual
message
observer.
to Mark in the chat?
It's the
I had a visual
Avata.
observer. There's a woman in a swing right there.
It's the Avata. He's beyond visual
Don.
line of sight. As
Yes.
soon as he takes off, he's got
Can you see my
goggles on.
message to Mark in the chat that says
Yeah,
humidity?
does humidity
does
affect the
the
signal? I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yes,
humidity
it
can
does.
have an effect on signal.
Sure. Listen,
Yes,
I
humidity.
want to know. Is the effect right? You know, like the wording effect. Is it effect with an A or effect?
It's A.
No, it should be
I
be
honestly
A.
don't know.
In
It
your
should be
speaker,
A.
it should be A.
Affect.
What's up, Tim?
Effect.
Effect,
Okay.
not effect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
an effect is you can observe an effect, but to
Yeah.
change something is to affect.
Change
it.
something, you affect it. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. I can never remember. I keep on relearning it and
So
re-forgetting it.
something affected the drone when I turned and effectively it hit the tree.
Effectively.
Yeah, something affected his signal, and the effect of that was losing control.
Yeah.
But then again, it's the Avata, so he's lost visual line of sight as soon as he's taken off because he's wearing goggles.
Then he
True.
officially shit his pants.
And who says I didn't have a visual observer?
But according
Well-
to the FAA, you're allowed to shit your pants. Okay.
You can't count Tino.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you had a visual observer, but
Yeah.
at the second you made that turn, your visual observer would have been rendered null and void
Look at
because
that.
they
Look at
couldn't
it.
keep control.
I'm right here.
Look at all
Rocky.
those visual observers. There's tons of them in the air.
Yeah, one right there.
Birds give you
Oh,
an
Joe,
idea
you-
where your drone's
Now,
at. when they're sitting around.
Yeah.
I don't have a signal right here is where I lost my signal.
I know you
Now,
You
why-
live in
can't
such an
pass
awesome
birds.
place, man.
The rules state that a visual observer has to be stood next to you.
Yep.
And
No,
not
so
necessarily,
birds
not
don't
necessarily
count.
next to you, but within earshot,
There you go.
human earshot. You can't, not
Yes.
a walkie-talkie, not a phone.
I
And,
find just
uh,
not flying drones makes
Yeah.
it so much
Standing.
easier.
And
You can be
visual
standing
observers,
10 feet away or 20 feet away.
visual observers
Officially-
cannot be used to extend visual line of sight either. You should be able to,
Officially,
if you had to, take your goggles off and locate the drone in the air from where
officially,
you're standing.
the observer does have to be stood next to you because he has to be able to see exactly what you would see if you weren't wearing goggles. If
Not
he
true.
stood- if
No,
he-
He
Mark,
do-
I don't
not true. He
think
does
that's
not
true,
have to be
Mark.
standing right next to you. He can be
I
standing.
don't think that's true, Mark.
He can be standing 10
Within
feet. So,
earshot.
so if you're shooting something and you know that you're going to have an issue maintaining visual line of sight, but you can stand somebody like 10 feet over to get a different angle on it.
Yeah.
If you're judging for distance, stand somebody a little bit off. You triangulate so they can give you a warning if you're too far out or something, and give you a little more information. You don't have to be standing right next to you.
Dawn is correct.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah.
you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you cannot stand them 100 yards away and let them be your visual observer, because
In here and in Walmart parking lot.
You can't communicate if they're that far.
right.
Yeah.
And they can't be used to extend your visual line of sight. You're still supposed to
Yeah.
maintain visual line of sight.
Exactly. It's like when you fly a drone, 500 yards from you into a Walmart parking lot and hover above people. Yeah.
They also have
Yeah,
to
Darren?
be able to tell you what's your surroundings as well.
But the guy
For
was standing in the
piloting.
parking lot watching it, so that counts.
Yeah, and that's another key part of a visual observer. While you're focusing on the drone, they're supposed to be watching out for other obstacles.
Yep, everything.
Yeah. By the way, from a pilot's perspective, if you a lot of drone range issues, if you start experiencing them, a lot of them can be remedied, but with a little bit of throttle. Just get some altitude, and usually
Yep.
the range will remedy itself.
That's what I was doing.
Altitude
It
no
might
matter
be,
what.
Because you're taking the low level obstacles out of between you and the
Yeah.
drone.
If y'all noticed, I came up over
it's
that
not
building
always.
and I was going higher, and then all of a sudden I had no control. I was done. It should have
Tim,
started picking up better because I was going higher.
Tim, it might be an update for that problem they were having with the map yesterday. Maybe you guys just got it, because that was about what I had was for that update was a 1 gig.
And when it loses connection, it's supposed to backtrack for about 50 feet along the route it's taken before
The
it
Avata 2. does
Yeah.
that.
considers.
It's supposed to.
Turn into home.
It should. If it loses connection, that one would have
Jonathan go?
increased in altitude a little bit first.
Does the
But
Avata
it
1
should
do
have.
that
It
as
should
well?
have
then, Tim?
backtracked.
Oh,
What did you
okay.
say?
The Avata 1
you
does
lose
that little
another
backtracking
drone,
move,
Joe?
does it?
Oh, wait, I
Joe,
didn't hear that.
Did you lose another
The
drone?
Avata,
No, I crashed it, but I went and got it. It wound up falling out of the tree on the ground.
Which drone? The Avata?
The original piece of shit Avata.
Yeah. Okay.
But you should have seen that when I turned and I saw it starting to break up. I said, "Go up." So I pushed the up stick. It's going up, and I turned. I'm looking down the middle of the street, perfect, and all of a sudden, I got all pixelated and went black. I went, "What?" And then I'm just pushing the up stick just to say, "Keep going up," right? Because I know I'm in the middle of the street and it's all clear. And I'm going up, and it's not doing anything. I can't tell if it's doing anything. And all of a sudden, they get that original picture where nothing's connected. And I said,
Were
I
you,
know.
were you
God.
using the sticks? You were using the sticks and not the dildo?
No, I was using the motion controller.
Oh, the
So I had the
yeah,
joystick pushing it up to make it go
Sure.
higher so I can get it
Yeah.
back. And I said, "You got to be kidding me." So I said, "Well, maybe it's returning to home." So I just sat there for about 3 minutes and waited.
Where's the
And it
antennas
didn't come
located
back.
on the
So then I
Avata?
just jumped in the car, drove. I knew right where it was. So I drove right down there, drove right up to that tree. There it was sitting under the tree.
Dre had a question for you. Chat
What are they? I don't see it.
about the antennas on it.
Hey, Dre,
Uh,
I'm putting a video together for you on my Sphere, so look for it soon.
I'm not sure, Dre. I thought the antennas on the Avata were in the arms going around them. In the prop guards. That's why I don't understand how I'm going away from me and I don't have a lost signal. And I understand all the buildings changed, but when I was going up, it should have started getting the signal back. Because the Avata
No.
2, I've had an issue down the middle of a bayou like that, where I'm down in the middle of the water losing it. I just go up higher and I got it back.
I don't think they are, Joe, because you can replace the prop guards without changing any electrical connections, so they
It
can't
might
be
be in
antennas.
it might be in the new Avata. That's where they're at. I think that's what somebody said. I think it's the Avata 2. They think it's in the prop guards.
I thought the antennas was in the goggles.
Well, I
Jason,
had the
you're right,
antennas up on, but the drone has to have something too.
I know for like camera drones that they're on the I want to say they're on the legs. They're on the legs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're
where
going
it's
away
got-
from you, but
where
you
it's
turn
got
back
legs.
towards you. See, it just, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have done that over water, and I lost it over water like that. But
Don't
every
forget the
time,
Mini
every
3
time the
Pro
original
doesn't have any
Nevada,
leg.
every time the original Nevada has lost signal on me, and I've had that happen in the park, over land, and everything. As soon as it loses signal, it'll go to the left. It'll start moving to the left on me.
You do
And
fly
that's
over a lot
happened
of
to me.
water,
It's
Joe.
happened to me twice.
You know, one thing I found also, Joe, is the original Avata kind of recovers after hitting something a little better than the Avata 2, I feel.
Yeah. But you saw the video in the tree, right? You put it back
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
I don't
rewatched-
think Jonathan saw it. Hold on.
Nah, I
We
missed
watch
that.
it again.
I walked far away from the house and lost it.
Hold on.
Put the
put it
link
back
in the
up.
chat too. I'm driving because I'll look at it when I get into my building.
Yeah. But watch, I got perfect visual right here, and I got perfect signal,
A
right?
lot of birds as well, aren't there?
And I turned right here, and I said, okay, I'm losing my signal a little bit. I got to get under these wires, and I'm gonna go up. So I started to go up, and when I started, I'm thinking I'm going up, but I'm not, and I completely lost the signal.
Woo! And Jonathan, yes, a lot of them have the antennas in the legs, but don't forget, some drones, like the Mini 3 Pro, for instance, doesn't have any legs.
Huh?
I think he means arms when he says legs.
Arms.
I think.
Well, yeah.
No, they are not. They're normally in those two stubby landing legs that
Part
come
of the
down
arms,
from
aren't
the
they?
front
Yeah,
arms.
that's what I'm talking about. They're in the legs.
But the
Oh,
Mini
really?
3 Pro, the Mini 3 Pro doesn't have them. It sits exactly on the bottom of the motors.
Yeah, but it's in the arms, then the ones that roll out.
Now you about to make me go look. Now I got to go look.
But I'm glad the thing decided to fall out the tree, and I didn't have to go climb that freaking tree.
Yeah, JD, it was a fix for that, because after I downloaded that 1 gig update last night, they put another message up saying that if it happened again, to shut the game down and reset
Be
it
right back.
after the update, if it was still happening. But I didn't have it happen after that.
I didn't know
So
you were there.
seems to be working okay.
I didn't know. Didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I got pissed off yesterday. I tried to land out there twice and it kicked me. I just stopped playing. I shut it down. It's like, screw this.
But you remember when I got home too, I couldn't get the motion controller to turn on the drone at all. And I tried it with the sticks. Paul said, try it with the sticks. I tried it with sticks and it did turn on. So then I went, I was going to get with Johnny and ask him what he had to do. And I went online and it said in the forum, one of the forums, it said, if it's not working like that, you press it twice real fast and see if it does it. And if it beeps again, just press it 3 times real fast. So the smart person here, I have it on my desk. I put my hand on top of it just in case. And I went snap, snap, and it went beep. So it wasn't going to start, right? I hit that sucker 3 times. And when I hit that sucker 3 times, that sucker went into full mode. Every piece of paper on my desk flew across the room. And I got my hand on top of it. It's trying to take off under my hand. And I had to turn it off. And then now I could hit it 2 times. So I have no idea what the difference is. But that sucker went, what? I'm trying to take off right here.
That if you read the message yesterday, it said some players may be affected. It didn't say all players. So it's probably an update for that, even though it didn't affect you.
Hey, the key word is players, not Tim.
So you might have not been one of the ones that got affected by it, but they still have to update it to fix it. So
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
Johnny told me to tell you that I need to teach you how to fly.
You know what Johnny can do, right?
Fly without
Hey,
hitting
I got a
trees.
job offer. I got a drone job offer today.
I saw
Guy
that.
wants me to go to Ukraine.
Hey, whatever happened to that one dude that went over there from the drone community? Apparently he went over there and disappeared and nobody's heard from him since. The Mike something. Oh, what the hell was his name?
Yeah, right here. I got a job offer. The guy said, I'm from Ukraine Defender and I have a job for you.
Is that what a
might be
Ukrainian sounds like, Joe?
Louisiana. The job might be in
Because
Louisiana.
that sounded Asian.
I am from Ukraine Defender.
Yeah, they probably would have sent it to a lot of people who, in the drone community. Probably most people. They
There
was
consider
a
guy-
pilots.
This week on Accents with Joe.
Oh, what the hell was that dude's name? His name was Mike something. He was in the drone community. And when the whole Ukraine and Russia shit started, he left and supposedly went over there to do drone shit. Was it Mike? Not Mike Rowe. What the fuck was his name? It was Mike something. But he disappeared and nobody's heard from him since. And he had pictures of himself over there in Ukraine that he put on his
Wow.
Facebook, but I can't remember what his name is, but he disappeared about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and nobody's heard from him since.
He might still be working.
He's never updated his YouTube. He's never updated his Facebook. All his posts are still originally from like 2 years ago. Like he hasn't updated anything on his social media anywhere. So, but his last few pictures he put on his Facebook was him taking selfies of himself. in
Black
Ukraine.
Ops.
I don't know if he was in the military or not. But yeah, I can't remember what his name was. It was Mike something. See if I can. I think I had him on Facebook. Let me see if I can find him.
Oh, and State Farm settled with me yesterday. So 4 days. It took 4 days to get settled. And if they wouldn't have screwed up the
You have the check yet?
well, it should be in my bank today.
How do they?
I take
Should
it
have the
State
money today,
Farm
so
are
depositing on the 14th.
insurance.
Yeah.
Is State Farm insurance underwriters? Oh, okay.
Mike Blade.
Yep.
Who the hell's Mike Blade?
It would have taken 3 days, but they had to switch it from homeowners to personal articles because they got it wrong. Took 1 extra day. That's not bad, 3 days to get the claim done.
Mike Kenny, was it? No.
So because all the drones are getting banned, I'm not gonna buy another Avata 2. I'm just gonna put my money in the bank.
Oh, I think
It's a
that's
piece
out
of
the
sh-
back of
you
the
know what,
Lance's
anyway.
cover.
I agree.
You know, cool cat, your little
What's that? that?
thing, your cat with the weirdness in me honors the weirdness in you. Reminds me of the
be
other
right
night. We built our deck and we're trying to get the pool open. My wife wants to put a little step for the ladder to go into the pool.
Yep.
And it's an above ground pool. So she built it out of the same decking material, but the pool, the angle on that side of the pool does not line up with the deck. It's just maybe 1 degree off.
Okay.
And she's like, it's not working. It's off and it looks bad. And if I straighten up with the deck, it doesn't match up with the pool. And she's just going crazy. And I said, I can fix it for you. I took it, I moved it over to the other section that was right next to it. That was at more of a 15-degree angle.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll put it there. It's too far off to be an accident, so it looks intentional.
Right.
And she's like, looking at it, she goes, I kind of like it. I go, I've lived with your crazy long enough to know the workarounds.
Right.
Wasn't
It's funny. It's very
that.
similar to how people put things on a plate. You know how like plating up is part of chefing. that you have to kind of understand. It's like a little language almost. Now you can spend a long time putting things intentionally on a plate and it will look fucking awful because it doesn't look natural. But there's a way that you can put things on a plate that looks as though it's supposed to be there, and it's not artificially propped up and it's not arranged with a ruler and a protractor, and it's actually quite a strange psychological phenomenon. Something that looks quite similar will look bad, and no one wants their food played with. And so the suggestion of having your food arranged in such a way suggests that it has been played with, and held for great lengths of time whilst it's being measured or whatnot. It's got to look natural.
It was Mike Kenny. Yeah, Tim, I found him right before you said that.
Any places where they do that with food is always because there's just not enough food on the plate.
And his last post wasn't as far back as I thought. His last post was in June 9th of last year. But supposedly he went to Ukraine to do drone shit, and nobody's heard from him ever since.
Wow.
So, don't know what happened to him. He was around the drone community quite a bit about 2 years ago. You'd see him in like all the chats and shit. But I haven't seen him in a chat or seen him around in fucking forever. Yeah, I want to yeah, so he left back in June of last year. It would have been around the time he left. So it's been about a year.
Yeah, so Mark, in these restaurants that serve French provincial style food, usually what they do is they put a kind of amount of food, like a fistful, on the plate, so that you can have 3 or 4 courses without filling yourself to the gills. And that's the idea behind it. That's the psychology behind having portions that aren't gigantic. And obviously, if you're hungry, you could be tempted to be pissed off about it because one plate isn't going to satisfy you. But that's the reason anyway.
Yeah, it's the prices that they charge for only half filling a plate that bothers me.
Sure, yeah, and usually the way they do it is they say, look, it's 100 quid for the meal, whatever you have, and it consists of 7 courses, with mille-feuille and whatever you want at the beginning. What they call it, petit fours at the end and stuff. Amuse-bouche, all sorts of things. That's fair enough, I think. But you want to be at the end of it kind of satisfied to some degree, and amused that you've had a good meal. But breaking things down into individual prices
for that one,
misses the point of it.
I don't go out to eat often.
I don't. I hardly ever do it now. I used to.
My son goes out constantly with his girlfriend. They're constantly out and about.
That's nice.
And I guess that's when you're young, and it's, I guess, what you do.
Yeah.
I've noticed a
JD's
lot of.
really
You ever notice well, Michael says he doesn't eat out a lot, but I've noticed that a lot of people from the UK tend to eat out a lot. Laura and David are always
takeaway.
ordering out. Mark's always
they get
ordering
takeaway.
out when he's on the live streams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
takeaways are different.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get
takeaway is
spoiled,
still
yeah.
eating out. It's not preparing it yourself, and that's when we talk about eating out. It's going somewhere to have somebody else prepare food for you.
Yeah, at a restaurant.
A bullshit.
And even a takeaway would be.
I get that.
Indian takeaways are lovely. Mark will agree with me there. Because the thing is, there's really nothing like it. When you've got dal and what's your favourite naan breads, Mark? The pashwari, I bet, with all the.
Actually, I tend to use roti rather than naan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, roti. I like the naans though.
The naan's too thick, too much bread.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. But if you've got like a nice dal soup though,
Well, I do
That's,
like Peshwari naan. Yeah.
yeah.
it's kind of fun to. It's something that it kind of is weird, kind of strange to me is that Britain is into Indian food so much. Do you guys have Mexican restaurants?
No.
Very
We
many?
don't have as many Mexican as we do Indian.
See, I'm thinking
But-
that it's here. You can't throw a rock without hitting a Mexican restaurant.
Mm.
Well, to be
Well,
honest
that's
with
because
you,
of your
I've seen
geographical location.
I've
Sorry,
seen a
Justin, go on.
few videos of people trying Mexican food and what they called authentic US barbecue in Britain, and neither one of them look like what we see here.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
whose take that was on that. If it was somebody from Britain that thought they knew what American barbecue and Mexican food looked like, because it didn't look anything like what we eat.
Yeah,
See,
I've seen
Britain
pictures
has,
of Nando's.
Britain
Yeah.
has history in India, with the Raj and whatnot. So that's why
You guys
curry.
didn't you guys like run India for a long time and then give it back to them?
Yeah, and there was some sectarian violence, and they split off, called it something else. That's how that other country was formed, isn't it? What's it called? It begins with B.
Yeah, Justin, didn't you watch
Bangladesh.
our
Bangladesh. Yeah.
last year?
Well, Bangladesh used to be part of Pakistan.
Mm.
I'm shocked nobody like even.
I've seen Slumdog Millionaire.
I'm shocked nobody said it, but Mark, if you come to America, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you tell a female you want to eat out, she ain't looking to go to no restaurant, buddy.
Where would you recommend, Jonathan, to eat out in America?
At the Y.
You better climb in the bed, buddy.
Hey,
Wait, hold
climb
on,
into
what are
bed.
you eating?
The fuck does that mean?
Well, they call it.
So you go eat these nuts?
At the Y.
Eat these nuts. These nuts.
That's a different
uh,
form. That's a different form of eating out, Jonathan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, other than having sex with an American gentleman, how would you?
we don't say we're gonna eat out. We say we're gonna get takeout. If you say you're gonna eat out, you're talking about.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Well, you didn't finish it up.
Mm.
I was waiting for somebody to say something.
So where would you recommend someone go for some takeout food, Jonathan?
Not
What's the best
Jonathan's
place?
house.
Avoid
Man, listen.
chain restaurants. Go find someplace local.
Listen,
Well,
all I,
yeah, that's what
all I
people
do is drink coffee and eat banana bread.
Oh, Jonathan, banana bread and a cup of coffee. There ain't nothing better.
See,
Otis-
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Otis Spunkmeyer banana nut bread muffins. Those things, they're so huge. I used to get those. And you ever have an Otis Spunkmeyer?
No, I can't buy those because they ain't gonna make it to
That
tomorrow.
sounds even worse than eating
I've
out.
been to ate all 6 of them.
Yeah.
How about this? Nice strong pot of tea, right? And some freshly cold buttered malt loaf slices. How about that? What do you
What
reckon,
loaf?
Mark?
Yeah, that
Malt
sounds
loaf
good.
slices with cold butter on it.
What's
Mm.
a malt
Fuck
loaf?
is-
Beautiful. Malt loaf
Malt
is like
loaf.
quite a heavy.
Very
Go
dark
for it, Mark.
brown,
Go for it.
very dark brown, almost cake-like bread with
Soft,
raisins
beautiful.
and raisins and
Like a fruitcake.
Yeah,
fruitcake.
like a
Yeah,
fruit
it's a
cake,
bit
but
like-
it tastes
it's
more
a
like
bit like
bread,
fruitcake,
and it's not
but
rich. It doesn't taste
with
rich
a lot-
for summer.
Oh, you mean like a Sara Lee cake?
Like a raisin bread.
No.
Yeah,
it's-
more like a raisin bread, don't? Yeah, but it
Yes,
is soft.
If you do over there, it's Serene is the one that sells
Saurine,
most
yeah,
of it.
it's beautiful stuff.
No, good coffee cake is good.
Oh man, say it again,
It's
Justin.
quite moist.
Yeah.
Ain't
carrot
nothing like a
cake
good
and-
coffee cake.
A carrot cake and coffee.
There you go.
Carrot cake too. See that I like the simple things, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
I don't want no.
Now, are you savage? Like when I eat a muffin, I rip off the top and eat it first.
I just eat the top off first. I don't even rip
No,
it.
I rip it off and then just leave the base, and then I eat the top and then eat the base.
What the
Savage
hell
when it
is
comes
that?
to muffins.
Well, the base is usually surrounded by a a paper case.
Lance has transformed.
Is it supposed to be a ram?
Oh my God,
Okay.
Lance! Yeah,
It looks like a llama
Excellent,
head
I like
with
that.
but the ram's horns.
It's a cow.
Yeah.
And I was guessing, okay, school mascot ram.
Yes.
can you put the mask back on, Lance? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
You probably like it better, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking, mate.
Yeah, because you can't talk with the mask on. You're not allowed.
Yeah,
It's too cute to be a ram.
I like it. It's a great mask.
I'm having a kid put it on today.
You're better with it on.
Oh, Justin, you're so mean.
I think Lance would make an awesome teacher. And he's teaching a subject which is very current at the moment, isn't it? Because people are getting into making their own videos and whatnot online. It is
Problem
right
is,
up there.
Social media,
Kids today are imbued with it from birth. And
It's a shame.
You got
It's double in it.
and so
you got 3-year-olds
they-
running around working
they
tablets
know
better than
things
adults.
that we didn't know that we had to actually work it to learn at, but then there's other things that they don't know, and that's kind of refreshing in a way. You see some of the stuff that kids do that because they don't know the rules of
Right.
producing videos, they come
Yeah.
up with some pretty fun accidents.
So I had a kid.
Yeah.
I had a kid do a PowerPoint for me. He missed 2 weeks of school and went over to France and traveled with his family. And he comes
lovely.
back, he puts a PowerPoint together for me, and he goes to all these different cities. He's in his PowerPoint. He put the Eiffel Tower lit up at night.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Copyright.
It's illegal. And I told him that so in a moment, and I said, hey, here's the deal. It's still under that 75-year whatever. You can take a picture of the Eiffel Tower during the daytime.
Hmm.
As long as it's not lit up. But as soon as
Serious?
those lights go up, you cannot
Seriously.
post it
Can't take
anywhere
a picture of it at night.
in media.
Seriously,
You
the
didn't know that.
lighting it put it under copyright, and the Eiffel Tower, because they said it was artwork or something like that with the lighting.
Yeah.
So if you take a picture of it at night, it is under copyright.
Yep.
Are you
And
That's the
serious?
dumbest stuff I've ever heard. My
That's
God.
it's insane.
whenever they copywrote that, now it's 75 years until it can be posted again, until it can actually be posted. So I don't know what year.
I knew D-Day was a mistake. It would be much better if it was German.
Oh, for
I bet the
fuck's
Germans
sake.
wouldn't have done it. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, people don't know that. They post it all the time. So that was a good teaching moment for my kids. It's like, it's a great PowerPoint, and just so you know. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. And in fact, I quoted a website that I ended up taking my class to and said, here's the deal. And they were like, wow, we didn't know that.
Right. Shit, I didn't know that till you just told me.
I've actually pushed my dad's Dolomite broken down past the Eiffel Tower at 3 o'clock in the morning when his alternator went.
Wow.
Okay, so Mark,
Uh-huh.
so we pick, and I already told you this, we picked 5 players in the in the big tournaments, and
Yeah.
there's 5 of us that do it. 4 of my 5 at the end of the day yesterday were in the top 6, which is
That's pretty good.
ridiculous. Finau,
You noticed Aberg's there again.
so 4 of my 5 guys were in the top 6 at the end of the day yesterday. Tony Finau, Bryson DeChambeau, Aberg, or however you say his name, and Cantley.
Mm-hmm.
And the only guy that isn't is the only guy that's doing poorly is Fitzgerald. I got someone at the door. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sounds so
Yeah.
sad.
He did well. McElroy's up there as well, and he is again.
Yeah, I just looked it up. The the lighting on the Eiffel Tower was created in 1985, and it's not just the lighting; it's part of a light show, and that's how they could say it's copyrighted. It's not just your standard lighting; it actually has a sequence and.
I guess anyone can copyright or patent anything now, can't they? At least I suppose they're not claiming to have invented the Eiffel Tower.
I have one in Vegas.
Rory is 2 over today, though, so he's lost some ground.
I would say someone needs to challenge the lighting on the Eiffel Tower. They're copywriting it because it's a sequence of the lighting and effects and stuff, but you might have a case if you say it's a derivative effect or it's a derivative work that can't stand on its own without the underlying artwork, which is in public domain.
Right.
Also, if it's the actual sequence that's copyrighted, then a still photograph is not showing a sequence.
Yes,
it's just showing
You can't
Exactly.
you can't take a still picture of an Indiana Jones movie and publish it as a professional.
I
Work.
suppose it's in part, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
still under copyright.
Yeah.
How did we get on the whole copyright thing with Eiffel Tower? What's up with that?
Lance was talking about a student of his doing a PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
before that, it was because I was talking about kids breaking rules that other people wouldn't think of breaking. They come up with some really cool stuff. And before that, Michael was talking about how Lance has a great job. He's a good teacher, a fun teacher, and probably.
Yeah.
I heard all that.
And the reason he did that was because Lance was wearing the mascot head. How far back we want to go on this?
Yeah, let's go all the way back.
You see, life is better when you don't
Started
smoke
with the
pot.
kittens.
Can you say reverse mode? Call that reverse mode.
Yeah.
And this is the reason I don't like smoking pot, because I keep a running history of conversation in my head, so I can backtrack pretty well. And the times I smoke pot, it's like, oh, we're going to shorten that down to about here, and I feel lost. It's like, how did I get here? What we were talking about, how did I get here? I don't know how I got here.
I missed the
Yeah, it's
first.
not for everyone.
I missed the first 8 words you said. It just didn't comprehend to me.
Last week, we did have a discussion about, well, I say discussion, I don't know what it was, but we were talking about how, what's his name? The guy who was said to have invented the light bulb. What's his name?
Edison.
Edison, yeah. Now, I'm not quite sure what it was, but because I was just communicating in text, I think, and possibly, I don't know, but I think Jonathan may have misunderstood something I wrote. I'm not quite sure what it was. I tried to get to the bottom of it, but I didn't. I couldn't get any valuable feedback.
That
we
wasn't
just
me.
kinda
I'm
left
not
it
in the
there,
chat.
but- No, sure. But what I mean is, last week, and I didn't really get to the bottom of it. I just it was left open. But I think you may have misunderstood something I said. I don't know, but you didn't seem too happy about it.
Probably, because I said,
Who's
ignore him. He's British.
Yeah, I remember Don doing his best.
I remember.
Yeah, that was good, man. It was a commendable thing to do. I appreciate that, Don. I'm not sure how much it helped, but it was frustrating as all hell because I wanted to be understood, and no
It's
matter
hard
how
to do
I
it.
tried,
It's hard to do in chat.
exactly. And I wrote 3 messages. Go on, John.
Kind of remember. I don't even remember what it was actually you said, but it wasn't nothing major.
Yeah, no, it's fine to be upset about something. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying it would have been. I wanted to try and get to the bottom of it so I could resolve it, but
You know,
What was it if you remember? I don't remember.
it's okay.
I remember it.
I remember Donald saying something about that's just the way you are because he's British, and I was like,
Pedantic Englishman or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember what it
Fair
was, but here's my thing. Michael, it was a big pile of dog mess. I won't say dog shit because that's crude. I'll say dog mess because saying dog shit is wrong. So
You can never say that you're
No,
not
you just said
sophisticated.
it
Don. Go
twice.
for it.
so it was a big pile of dog
shit.
poo,
Yeah.
and we all left it where it was sitting last week, and you've been carrying it around all this
Oh,
time.
fucking hell. Yeah, you're right. Here I am.
Put it down.
Yeah.
You don't have to carry it anymore.
Set it down. So I'm now going to spend an hour convincing you how something I've dragged up wasn't an issue. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, it's okay. I just thought I'd mention it because it came up as in the painting thing. So it's
Michael,
okay.
what do you do with a rabid dog?
Put it down.
Put it down.
Shoot it in the face.
What was the old joke? He's so stupid. He came in walking. He came in carrying a pile of dog shit in his hand and say, "Look what I almost stepped in."
No, I think that when you have a different medium of communication, such as we have now, where we're talking rather than writing down, there's less scope for misunderstanding, simply because there's slightly less ambiguity. But that was all. That was why it's relevant, because I thought maybe I could get a bit further down the road, that's all. But that's what it's about. You know,
Well, it's easy to
and-
take things out of context when you're messaging somebody. Because
Exactly.
you could be trying to be funny and then they think you're being serious.
Exactly, and that's my problem. Because my problem is that there I am trying to be funny and failing most of the time. But you know, you can't blame a guy for trying, right? And a lot of the time it is misunderstood. Now, what's important to me, and for you too, Justin, because we share the same kind of value here, that screen braveness is for pussies. It's fucked up. If someone is more brave online because they have a screen between them, that's disgusting. It's fucked up. So I've got to be as wonderfully polite and, delightful as I would be face to face online. You know, whether I'm in the chat or whether I'm on the panel or whatnot, because it's a good display of integrity. You know, and screen bravery is the antithesis of that.
So you're talking about keyboard warriors.
Yeah, there you go, something like that. Yeah. So I always want to try and resolve, and if someone has taken something the wrong way, I'll go to great lengths to try and explain the context of my intent. And if my intent was not to cause grief, then I'll tell them. You know, I'll say,
Context is
absolutely
lost
didn't
in
intend to do this and
messaging
the
all
other.
the time.
Yeah. Are you gaming today then, later on, Justin?
Probably not. I got some stuff to do here in a little bit.
Okay. How's Sarah? Is she okay?
Still hurting, but I guess she's okay. I mean, for the most part.
Doesn't sound like TJ.
Well,
Still don't know what's wrong, like what's causing it. So
sure. But give her my regards, will you? And give her a nice big kiss and say it's a guy with a charming, beautiful accent, like James Bond.
Yeah, and
This is for
also
Bob.
maybe a cup of breast and tell her that's from me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, some gentle cupping. Nothing wrong with that.
Sarah's gonna hate me. Does she already hate me?
no.
Nobody hates Donald.
And Justin, from me, just tell Sarah, smile.
And from Laura, just tell her to
Sure,
shut up.
she's probably listening. She's not typing in the chat.
I wouldn't tell her to smile. She might not feel like smiling right now, and if you tell her to smile, that might set her off.
No, it's like the song, Sarah, smile.
How did you end up with such a nice girl, Justin? She's been really good.
I have no
Big
idea.
Willie also.
That is the question of the century. We've all
Right?
figured it out. We've never
Yeah.
figured out where Justin found such a sweetheart.
He's either loaded or he has other
We're loaded.
advantages. Oh, he's loaded, yeah.
I think what it was Sarah was loaded at the time.
Oh, I see. She was drunk. She made a regrettable decision, but now she has to live with it. I get it.
I do make potholes every time I stand up, but you know. So.
To be fair, they've got, children and everything, so it's good. The good has come of it.
Yeah, and they're working on another one, right?
No.
That's what I heard.
Here she comes. She'll be in a minute.
Yeah, but yeah, so I like her, and all those horrible things that Justin says about her, I don't believe them.
Oh, whatever.
Well, I do think that Slave Driver is a little bit over top, you know, she's not
I
like,
did, yeah. I didn't like that one.
no.
Warren has a new video of Mini 2.
So, Jonathan, did you check your Mini 3 Pro?
I just heard somebody out of my name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm on my deck running around doing about 50 things. I think at the same time. Mark.
Uh-huh.
Whatever it was, right? Oh, let me somewhat explain me, which most of y'all already know. I'm dysfunctional as hell, right? I'm very dysfunctional. But whatever it was, couldn't have really been like something dramatic because I literally don't remember. I literally don't remember it. I remember the comment that Donald made because it made me bust out laughing, especially when I had to remind him that I am British.
I remember the conversation. Why do you keep bringing it up?
Huh? No, I just walked back to the screen. Actually, I walked away. Whatever
is
was
Mark
wasn't
just
that
trying
important. But no, I'm just trying to. I don't, because it seemed like for him to bring that up from way back then, it's obviously like still bothering him. So
Yeah.
I just want to,
Jonathan,
I just want to ease his mind and let him know that the fact. Hold on. The fact that we still literally speaking
I get it.
means that I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'll bear that in mind. Listen, you know, Mark and Michael, different people, right?
Yeah.
Two people with a silly accent.
Yeah, but wasn't it Mark?
it's
Wasn't
the
it Mark?
only,
Okay, I'm editing here. Wasn't it Mark who said something to Jonathan and got him back into the conversation? Or
yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe I don't know.
Just now?
Yeah, it was about the fact that the Mini 3 didn't have any front legs.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I was editing here, and I heard.
The Mini 3.
I heard you say something, and then Jonathan say, "I heard you. I'm on the deck doing stuff," and then it was already in that conversation. So I thought Mark had brought it back up.
Yeah.
So.
No, I didn't even.
Yeah, I was not paying attention.
I didn't even check the Mini 3 yet.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, Jonathan, it's okay.
The Mini 2's got legs, but the Mini 3 hasn't. And then they put them back on again for the Mini 4.
So what are we going to do when we don't have drones to talk about?
Go to
drones to talk
RC
about.
cars and everybody starts buying Traxxas.
We're gonna have drones to talk about because it's already starting to fight it. It hasn't voted on it yet, Justin. They're gonna look at it today. But I can't remember where Johnny told me. He said he had to look at it. He didn't send it to me last night. But it might have been LA Public Safety or a whole bunch of public safety groups in California sent Congress a big letter talking about all the problems they're going to have if they don't have a DJI drone. And it's supposed to be other ones all over the country starting to send these things in.
Good.
So if they start sending
good.
it in,
So they'll make a carve out for.
God, if I was Congress, I wouldn't listen to anything California said.
well,
So they'll make a carve out
Congress.
for police and first responders and stuff, and leave the rest of us to hang.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to have to. I think that would be what you call it. I almost want to say unconstitutional, but it would be.
But yeah, I guess it's true because this bill is attached to the company itself, to DJI,
yeah,
and not to us. So,
right.
How would that be unconstitutional? Constitution has nothing to do with that.
I think it would be if they allowed first responders to be able to fly that drone and not us. I think that would be like a discriminatory type of thing.
This is really
There's no way that would fall under Constitution.
It might.
Because somebody was saying yesterday that it's unconstitutional because it's your right to work. But at the same time, there's plenty of other jobs out there.
Right, but still,
Not
that's
just
if
everybody's
you've
doing
already got
drones.
that job and they're going to take it from you, that's unconstitutional.
You know, the Constitution doesn't really protect your job. It's freedoms that are what we consider our natural right.
Right, but what the basic thing they gotta do is they gotta get
'Cause
this
that's-
thing pulled out of that bill.
Because like driving's not a privilege, flying a plane's not a privilege, so flying a drone wouldn't be a privilege either. I mean, there you go. Everybody move to RC cars. There's no regulations until you start
By the
breaking
way-
people's ankles at the park.
It's no good.
I have one of
Telling-
these.
No good telling Joe to go into RC cars. There are a
Yeah.
lot more things to crash into.
Screw RC cars. I've got my Doom buggy out
They're
there. I'll
fantastic.
go out and get my real car.
You need to get yourself a scale model RC car of your buggy.
Why would I want to do that?
So you can have two things to constantly fix. Have you seen JD's videos? He literally will take his RC car out and 30 minutes later he's replacing half the fucking car. I've seen literally JD
has four
fixes.
legs, but that's because I have landing gear on it. Without the landing gear, the Mini 3 Pro only has
So
two
there's
front legs.
one.
But I've
back
seen
leg is
JD
flat.
literally fix his RC
Yeah.
car,
That's it.
take it out and break it to complete shit in like 10 minutes. So it'd be perfect for you, Donald. It seems like it's a hobby that would line right up with the buggy.
Yeah, I guess everybody's wanting to sing.
Mhm.
Like I said, there's no regulations on RC cars till you guys start breaking ankles, looking up girls' skirts, stuff like that, you know. And you got a GoPro on an extension, and you just drive right under a girl's skirt at the park.
Mm.
So I told, because Curtis keeps saying the ROVs are gonna be the next hot thing. I said, yeah, there's no regulations on them now till some jackass claims that you pinched his daughter's ass in the public pool with it.
What's an ROV?
The underwater.
Underwater.
Submarine.
Oh, I
Little
know.
roll control
submarine type
submarines.
thing.
Mind
I've
you,
got the image in
they
my head
don't
now.
act- they
Grab your
don't
hands.
use radio signals.
No, they use
They're
300-foot tethers.
Yeah, they tether
Yeah.
it.
But Curtis says that you can extend the tethers, but your average tether is about 300 feet.
Mm,
And
that's because radio signals do not work underwater,
Right.
right, but
which is why trees have an effect on it, because the majority of a tree is water.
the ones that Curtis
Hang on, Johnson's flying something.
does underwater, those ones are not cheap at all, dude. His are like $5,000-$6,000. They're expensive.
That's also why humidity.
Jonathan, is that the Air 2S? What is that?
No, this is the Mini 3 Pro. Okay, the difference is, and that's what confused me. See, I got landing gear on mine, so I automatically got legs on there, but you really only got these two here. The back has nothing. The back has nothing. But
That
if I
looks
remember
like-
correctly, they said they put the extra antennas in the controller.
Okay.
Yeah, the controller
Never thought
goes on
about
with
getting
the
landing gear
antennas.
for a future paperweight, but it does make a.
Hey, this is heavier than your body. You want to say?
It's gonna be a great paperweight.
Yeah, the mini drones don't make very good paperweights. They don't weigh enough.
Well, I tell you what, I done seen people put that Avata in the air and that thing be sideways.
Yeah, you're right.
That thing be like this in the air from the wind. I ain't never seen a Mini 3 Pro do that.
The Avata sucks.
I've seen a guy lose one in the water and hit a tree with one.
With a Nevada?
Yeah, one
Yeah,
guy
he
did a
lost
light
one in the
bulb
water. It was a
and
Nevada
one in the
2,
water.
and then he crashed a Nevada 1 into a tree recently.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best drone in the world, though. It's the best drone in the world. I seen the guy hit a light pole not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Light poles, dude, like I said, they get dangerous during mating season. You gotta watch it. They'll just reach out and grab your drone.
Joe, you know that guy, don't you?
Yeah, I counted, no.
Well,
He's a
I'm
Part
on
107 pilot, too.
Joe's side because I don't think he could have avoided that. It was hidden.
Yeah, that was too late.
Yeah, that
Came out of
told-
nowhere.
He could have avoided that if he's anything like me. Leave it in the bag.
What was the biggest fucked up thing about that what Joe hit on that dock was there was nothing else in the air around that fucking thing. It was the one
Nah,
thing
it
that
wasn't. Look.
was sticking up above the dock that he hit.
Yeah,
If you look at the way Joe was flying, right, and that's what made it blend in. When Joe was he was coming around and slightly coming down at the same time to the point that where it's like as he was moving, that pole was like in a solid position, like it wasn't moving and it blended right in. I'm talking about I sat there and looked at it, and by the time I seen the pole, you'd already hit it. It was too late.
Yes, me too. Because I was watching the guy to the left in the boat dock area. I didn't want to go over him. You know,
I was
that my
literally,
whole
I
thing.
was literally looking at the dock as you was coming down, and that's what made it strange to me that I didn't see, because I was already looking down at the dock when you was coming down, just like that. I was looking down at the dock, and I didn't see it.
Hold on, where is that, Daryl? Because that looks like the Washington Monument, but that's clearly not the Washington Monument.
Well, I can't see it. What you see?
Because
It's a link in
Hold
the
on, huh?
chat.
here, let me show the video. Because I mean, you can tell obviously this is not the Washington Monument, but
No, but there's lots of different obelisks like that.
well, that's why I was wondering where that one is and what is it for.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Because there's just an empty parking lot next to it.
No, that's not even Washington D.C. I can tell you that already.
Oh, I know what the
First place
Washington. Yeah,
to
'cause the
fly.
Washington Monument has the big pool and shit in front of it and all that.
I swear I've
As
seen a lot
far
of
as
people
Gulf
flying
ran
there.
after Ginny.
Because at first
Colony
I thought
Park.
it
It's
A
a
lot of
Colony
those-
Park.
was
those
okay.
obelisks, when we have them over here, they call cenotaphs, and they're normally a remembrance of the war.
Ran after Jimmy. Because at first Colony Park.
Yep.
I didn't know cenotaph was a word like that.
When we have them over here, they call cenotaphs, and they're normally a remembrance of the war.
It's in Mississippi. Okay.
Because at first Colony Park.
I didn't know cenotaph was a word like that.
When we have them over here, they call
Jonathan, you got YouTube playing.
normally.
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that.
So, what's the plan, Jonathan? What are you planning to fly and where at this point?
Oh damn, Lance, just
It's about to
FYI,
be
your
90,
audio is
it's about to
dog
be
shit.
94 degrees today. I ain't flying nothing.
No? Okay.
I'll wait till the sun's going down.
Yeah, sounds like a better idea. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm not okay. I'm not liking how long it's taken Paul to get back. So hopefully nothing happened.
Paul's already been back
You're
and
right.
gone again.
I did.
I must have missed him then. Unless he went for Boston Creams.
That is kind of brave, be flying around that monument there. Looks like it doubles as a cell phone tower.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that is not good, Dan, at all. Because at any moment you could just lose your shit.
Quiet.
What's that movie where they cut down the cell phone tower because they thought it was a tree? It was Daddy's Home 2 or whatever.
Enough.
The one with Mark.
He thought a cell phone
Wahlberg.
tower was a tree.
Yeah, fuck. What movie was that? Hold on.
Sounds like was it with Mark Wahlberg and Will Smith or Will
Yeah,
Ferrell?
yeah. They fucking
you
cut
talking
down
about
the.
Yeah, I've never seen either of those.
Oh, it was funny as shit. He goes, that's the cell phone company shows up to their house to give them the bill, and it was like $30,000 or something. He goes, damn, that's an expensive Christmas tree.
No, because he's always
Uh.
flying around a cell tower.
Well, in some areas over here, they have to make the towers look like the surrounding vegetation, so they'll make them look like trees.
Kinda.
They'll try to make it look like a tree. And that was the whole joke in the movie. They fucking cut the tree down and they
See,
thought it
that
was
is a
fucking
cell
tree.
tower right in front of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said, if you look right here, there is nothing else around but that pole that's sticking that high. And he hits the
Yeah,
one
right.
thing that's sticking right above the water.
I mean, you can imagine how daft the person who did that must be, right?
Now,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now, did you do the financial breakdown, Joe? Like Bill did? How many subscribers and how much per subscriber did you gain from this video?
You're
How much
muted,
did you end
Joe,
up
by the
paying
way.
per subscriber? I think Bill broke it down when he crashed that original DJI FPV. Was it like $52 a subscriber?
I have to go look. I'm not monetized. If I was monetized,
No, this
I know
was
I've got
before he
like
was
40
monetized.
yeah, I got 40 subscribers off of the video. And
Okay, so no, the monetization has nothing to do with it. So you have to take the cost of the drone and divide that by how many subscribers you got, and then you know how much you paid per subscriber.
I got the money back, so I'm good. You know,
Because I think Bill only got like what 10 subscribers from that crash video he put out of the original DJI FPV, and it ended up breaking down to like $50 some a subscriber or some shit.
I'll have my new about it today. Knew about it too today.
So
I'm doing a Jonathan on this one.
you
Yeah, I've got Fly More package I'm gonna be picking up today at Best Buy.
can't tell everybody, man. Just certain people. You can't tell everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking up the Fly More at Best Buy, and I'm selling the goggles and the motion controller for $600. And I'm gonna have everything I want plus 3 batteries.
Isn't it a little
Or
preemptive?
500.
Shouldn't you wait?
You say you're selling the goggles and motion controller for $600.
Yep.
How much is the whole package, Joe?
1309. So I'm gonna get 3 batteries in the drone for 700, whereas the drone by itself is over 500. I'll get 3 batteries. And the hub, charging hub and the bag.
And all you gonna give them is the goggles and the
And the motion
controller.
controller.
And you
I
think
may
you're
give
gonna
them the
get half your
bag.
money back. You want to
I'll get
give
more
up
than
2 items out of about 15 and want half your money back.
Well, that's the cost of them right now if you try to buy them. I'm selling it under the cost of DJI. I'm saving them $50 in free shipping. And I'm gonna throw in that bag because I'll have 2 bags and I don't need it. I'll throw in a DJI bag.
That's that bucket type looking bag.
It's a new one they got. The new one's nice. It's 2 different levels.
I like the round top. Sell me that bag, Joe. That's all I want the bag.
I tell you what, I was using that
case
bag.
is
I
good.
like that bag.
Who I seen? Somebody unboxed one. Oh, I remember where I saw it now. Yeah, but I like that bag. It's like a bucket top DJI bag.
Somebody close.
There you go.
I changed my mind. I'm gonna get in the air before it get hot.
There you go. This is where they cut it down.
I did. Brad Whitaker. Ah! Dusty, look at this one. Perfectly
You like
symmetrical.
Will of the Smith. He really is good.
Okay.
Wahlberg is
Oh,
good.
yeah. Keep an eye out for rain
You can literally look at that and tell that ain't a tell that ain't a tree.
Oh yeah, she's cut like butter.
Hey, Brad, isn't that a... Hold it, hold it. Wow. Brad.
Damn, Gina.
We need Mel Gibson and more stuff.
Yeah, well, see, he
Yeah, I
had
think
that.
so.
Remember that whole freak out when he did those voicemails about
Yeah.
his wife, and then they.
Mm.
But
Of
now
course.
he's starting to make a little comeback, though. You're starting to see him in a lot more movies and TV shows because he did that
This is separating the
three-part
art from the
episode.
artist.
Yeah,
I can't name a bad Mel Gibson movie.
me neither.
He was just
Oh, the Lethal Weapons! I love all those movies.
okay.
whole series.
Anything after Lethal Weapon 2 kind of sucked.
I liked them.
They were okay, but the writing on them were horrible. His performance was great, but the writing on
I like-
those
Who
fell
was
down
it?
big time.
Joe Pesci was funny in those movies.
Yeah, the first two movies were written by the same guy that did The Good Guys.
The Goodfellas,
No, not Goodfellas. The Good Guys.
good guys.
Good
I know
guy.
that movie. I'm just trying to think.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know which movie you're talking about.
And I can't remember the guy's name. Black. I want to say it is something. Shane. I want to say Shane Black. Off the top of my head, but he is a brilliant. He writes great buddy cop. Well, even though the you guys they weren't cops, but still he writes great, snappy dialogue.
Well, look at Joe Pesci. I mean, granted, he hasn't done anything in 20 years except for that recent movie he did for Netflix, but all his movies back in the 90s, man, he did a hell of a job. And damn near every one of his movies are considered classics.
Yep.
I mean, you had Goodfellas, you had Casino, fucking My Cousin Vinny. I mean, all his
Yeah, I
movies
like
are
that.
great.
Oh yeah, My Cousin
Great
Vinny,
film.
just amazing. That is one that should have. I would accept a sequel where you have Ralph Macchio.
To Mrs. Riley and only Mrs. Riley. The judge's face when he said that was like classic. He looked at him like, what?
It
So
could
you-
be the same. You wouldn't want to do the same plot, but have a sequel where you find out what happened to Ralph Macchio's character. Maybe he grows up to be a lawyer because of his cousin Vinny.
I would love to, yeah, that would definitely have to take a good writing crew to write a good.
You couldn't make it the same thing. I would say because really, My Cousin Vinny it was a huge relationship film.
Yeah, it would be very easy to ruin it.
So
Put it that way.
instead of
But-
making a love interest relationship film, fish out of water story, make it like a more straight ahead procedural, all in one court. It's not a strange court, but have like Ralph Macchio's character as a lawyer, and they call in his cousin Vinny to help him out with this impossible case, or Vinny is now in a retirement home. He's having a fight in a retirement home, and it's some sort of what do they call it when you don't actually go to court and it's being adjudicated by
Yeah, a hearing. Or
something else, some sort of hearing, and so he calls his nephew or his cousin, Ralph Macchio, who's now a big time lawyer. He comes in and
What sucks though is like half the
Pays him
original
back.
cast from that movie is gone now.
yeah, that's
Too,
why
which
you
is
couldn't
kinda
do that.
sad.
You'd-
Because the guy that played the DA, he's dead. The guy that was the FBI agent, he's dead. The judge, he's gone.
Another movie that I would like to see a sequel to would be Son-in-Law.
Haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, with freaking
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore.
Yeah, I would like to see that. That would be one that would be fun to revisit.
What's crazy is a lot of people don't realize that he actually owns the famous comedy club now in L.A. And that's what he's been doing for the last like 15 years.
Mitzi
He inherited it from his mom.
Yeah, Mitzi Shore was his mother.
Yeah, so
And
he
that's
inherited that.
Yeah, Pauly Shore is a nepotism story, big time. I mean, his babysitters were like Sam Kinison and.
Well, and he said that, you know, I watched the interview he did about why he kind of quit doing movies, and he said, you know, that whole shtick he was doing back in the 90s kind of.
He
went to Rogan, didn't he?
Kind of just died off, and then people didn't want to cast him anymore because that was kind of the shtick he was playing.
Yeah, the shtick was over, and he couldn't make that transition. No one wanted to let him make the transition into something different.
What was his most famous role?
Probably.
Son-in-Law, Encino Man, Biodome.
And those weren't all. I wouldn't say those were real big hits. They became more cult classics.
Encino Man was a big hit.
Was it?
Oh yeah, Encino Man was pretty big.
And that was Brendan Fraser's one of his breakout roles, wasn't it?
I think that was one of his first.
Yeah, when he started like getting.
Yeah. Let's see. Pauly Shore, Son-in-Law.
I don't know.
Son-in-Law was really popular.
I thought some of his movies ended up kind of being flops in the box office, but they kind of came to be more cult classics after the fact.
What am I doing?
But I could be wrong.
I saw them in the theater.
Yeah, I know. I remember that most of them were in the theater, but I'm wondering if they were actually big box office hits or if they were kind of flops.
You know,
In the Army Now, was that any good?
Oh
no, that was a bad one.
Oh, I like that one.
That one was a box office flop.
But I like that movie though.
Yeah, that had what's her name from Point Break and Tank Girl.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The girl that was the love interest in the movie.
Yeah.
She wasn't even all that. I don't think she was that great looking.
Oh, I think she's cute. Lori Petty.
Okay.
And then it had what's his name in it that played with him.
Tim says he would like to see a remake of the movie Cocoon.
Did they ever have a film that starred both Joe Pesci and Danny DeVito?
Not that I can think of, no. Joe
That would have
Pesci
been
always
good.
did kind of.
That would have been a good partnership.
Well,
Yeah, it
Joe
would have been.
Pesci always did kind of gangster mob type movies, where Joe Pesci did a lot of comedy type movies. Or I mean, yeah, what's his name did? He did more comedy movies, like when he did like Twins and he did Matilda, and yeah, he was more like comedy type roles. Joe Pesci did a lot of serious type roles in most of his movies. They were, but you know, that one guy on YouTube, what's his name? He has a big YouTube channel now, but he's an ex mob boss, and he said that Joe Pesci was the most realistic mobster when it came to acting as a mobster in movies. He said that was the one actor that most people that were in the actual mob said that he portrayed the mafia the best out of most actors. Like the way he would, way he'd act out the roles. Michael Francis, yes. That's who it is. I couldn't think of his name.
I think the first time I came across Danny DeVito was in Taxi.
Yep.
The
I liked him in
series.
Twins. That was a pretty funny movie. Twins was a pretty good movie.
They're not making movies like they used to no more.
Yeah,
They
that's what
put
I was
more effort into putting stuff on
certainly
Netflix
do.
and all of that. than making a
Well,
good
see,
movie.
this is the problem, right? Is all these movie services like Netflix and Amazon Prime, they're hiring all these A-list celebrities and they're like, we'll give you so much money. Here's 10 shitty scripts, make us 10 movies. And then, you don't really like the movies that they're making. It kind of degrades what they've done before, all the good movies they did before.
Yeah.
And
You just got to
that's the
ignore
thing.
them. Now,
Yeah,
Star Wars
'cause-
being I don't want to go into a huge Star Wars discussion about it necessarily, but Star Wars is an excellent demonstration of just
Michael,
how
you're breaking up
shit
real bad.
they
Breaking up.
can
Yep, he
Break it
started
up,
talking about
break it
Star
up.
Wars and turned into a
make
droid.
films. I hope Donald knows that he's.
Michael, you're breaking up.
Sorry.
We can't understand you.
My bad.
But that
I'm
was
gonna
like
reset my
Nicolas
shit.
Cage. I really liked his movies all the way up till National Treasure, and then after that, it just kind of all the movies he was making for like Netflix and shit, they were all just kind of crappy. Now that recent one he did where he played the vampire, that one was pretty funny. I actually liked that movie. I can't remember the name of it, but where he played the vampire and the guy was his assistant.
What was
But
that? That was
I can't remember the name of it, but it was actually a pretty funny movie.
yeah, that was funny as hell. That was funny as hell.
But between that and National Treasure, man, all the crap he was putting out for Netflix and shit, it was all shitty. Really crappy movies.
Yeah, they not. Yeah, like I said, they're not making the movies like they used to anymore.
When it comes to
not.
Netflix makes really good shows, but their movies are absolute dog shit. But they make good shows, though. They have a lot of very iconic shows that people are into, like Stranger Things. And
The evidence that
yeah.
the evidence that they're not making movies like they used to. Fathom Events plays a bunch of old movies. They'll put them into theaters, and last week, this week, and I believe the week after, they're doing the extended versions of Lord of the Rings, and they are selling tickets like hotcakes. People are going and sitting down in the movie theater, spending an entire weekend, 11 hours total.
Hold on, when you say extended version,
yeah, because they miss good films.
It's a new Lord of the Rings.
No, it's the Lord of the Rings that was made by Peter Jackson. But
And they're just adding the parts that they didn't show before.
He had released
big
the extended
screen.
cuts on Blu-ray. I've got them in the other room.
Yeah, the uncut version. Uncut version, yeah.
On a big screen, that'd be worth watching. I'd do that.
Yeah. And so
That's wonderful.
the kid that I babysit his dogs, you guys have seen, got a hold of me. He wanted to go see them with me. And I'm like, I've got him in the other room. I can't justify spending money to go to the theater to see 3 different movies. I said, how about we compromise? We'll watch the first 2, and we watched the first one Monday. We're going to watch another one, The Two Towers, this week. And then the week after that, we're going to go see Return of the King in the theater.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that's a good compromise.
Like, how long is
Did you
the
get these-
extended
Blu-ray as
version,
well?
though? Like, is it an extra half hour?
Yeah, hold on. It's 3 hours.
Those movies are long as shit, though, anyway. Like, I remember when I watched the movie Stand from Stephen King. That was 6 hours long. That was a 3-parter.
Let's see here. I think it's a total of all the movies. I believe it's like 11 hours worth of. I guess I could look up on
DEI
Google
is
better.
also destroying movies. Sorry, go on.
That was like, I was really interested in watching the Equalizer show until I realized that they casted frickin' what's her name to play in it. I was like, really? I was like, it was a male character. Why the hell did you put a female in there?
Oh, the new version.
Put a chicken
of
in
it.
there.
With Queen Latifah. I was like, she does not fit
Yeah.
the role of the Equalizer. I was
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
I've been in some good
yeah,
films.
they did an
calling the
Equalizer
setup.
TV show, and it's made it like 4 or 5 seasons. But Queen Latifah plays the main role of what's his name plays in the movie.
Justin.
And I'm just like, that's not a female
Justin.
role, man. That's that.
Yeah. Some things just ain't supposed to happen.
Justin.
But I,
The
That's it
girl he
all.
lost too close to the
The
sun.
original TV
Justin.
series of The Equalizer was Edward Woodward.
yeah, but like I said, that's a male role, dude. To put a
Justin,
female
what
in a
game did
role
you
like
play
that,
this morning?
Mhm.
Justin, what game did you play this morning?
Fortnite,
What character did you choose?
a female. Like
Uh,
Denzel Washington, dude, he
Called you
really
up.
He was good.
He's such a good
answer
good
that,
actor.
Justin. Answer
Shut up,
that.
Lance. Shut up.
Called you up.
It looks like it's about half an hour to 40 minutes extra footage in each one.
Okay. Yeah. So, but Denzel Washington, like he killed that role in The Equalizer.
Denzel Washington is a lot like Mel Gibson. I like him in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman. I love Morgan Freeman, man. Or Jamie Foxx. He's one of my favorite actors. Dude, Jamie Foxx is just so talented, man. That man can act. He can sing. Like he has it all. He's an all around just badass artist.
I like watching Jackie Chan in movies. I think he's hilarious.
Jamie is good, but he shouldn't have been in that Spider-Man movie. That's not his role.
Who?
As
In the
Electro.
in the Spider-Man, yeah, as Electro in the Spider-Man movie.
You talking about Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. But I liked him in like Django Unchained, like
Oh,
just
yeah.
dude,
Yeah, he
or
did those.
Law Abiding Citizen, dude.
Mhm.
He's so talented, man. Like I said, you very rarely find actors that can act and sing or act. Like he kills it in both of them. That man
He-
can get on a fucking microphone and just kill it on a song.
He's related to one of the guys in the group of Jodeci.
Like he's definitely one of my favorite actors. Just like Leonardo DiCaprio, I really like him. I think he does really well in a lot of movies. And if you notice, he plays a lot of time period movies where, they're not really in the modern age. Like he always plays like an old role, like Django, Titanic, Gangs of New York. If you notice, a lot of his films, he always plays in like a different era or a
Jamie
different
was in Titanic.
decade. No, I'm talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
a
he
very
shifted.
talented actor.
Oh, yeah. That guy there, in fact, I didn't know that's what his name was, to be honest with you, but I do know who you're talking about. I haven't seen him play a bad movie. Anything he plays in, he plays a hell of a role.
One of my favorite movies he did was Wolf of Wall Street, man. He was funny as shit in that movie. If you ain't seen Wolf of Wall Street, you got to watch that, man. That's crazy because that's based on a true story. Yeah, that's based on a true story where he plays a guy that was into the stocks, like he was into Wall Street back in I think the 90s or whatever, and in one of the lines in the movies he says, last year I made $51 million, he said I made $50 million in a year. And I was pissed off because I was shy of making $1 million a week.
Shut up, Justin. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, David.
We need
Morning, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
We need a Gargoyles movie, man. They didn't came at us with they didn't redid everything else. It's time for a good Gargoyles movie, a real like.
Fucking Dusty. I like Barney and Teletubbies. Get the hell out of here.
We need a real good Gargoyles movie. Like whoever made the cartoon Gargoyles, yeah, that's what they need to produce it.
Now you can't beat Great Uncle Bulgaria in the Wombles.
In the who?
Wombles. You won't know what the Wombles are.
No, I probably don't.
Overground, underground, wombling free.
Yeah.
The only one that's
that's
American is Donald.
The soup dragon in the clangers.
The soup dragon?
Yeah. It was
The
a dragon on
Wombles.
this planet and it only drank soup.
the Wombles are why we have recycling today.
Yeah.
They were the
We get-
first
How
recyclers.
did we get from gargoyles to
I never saw any of the Gargoyles cartoons.
Are you serious?
When did
Well,
they
I mean,
come
you
out?
you seen when did that come out?
I think it was,
92?
it's either late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I was
92.
busy.
What do you think of
91.
Dora the Explorer, Jonathan?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Leave Dora
couldn't-
alone.
I never explored with Dora. I couldn't
Almost
tell you.
Oh,
much as Peppa Pig.
1994. I was busy chasing my wife in 1994.
94?
Yeah.
In 94, I was 35.
Keith David was in that.
Yeah, that could have been 94.
He was the buddy in
I don't know
They
what
Live, the
that-
one that Roddy Roddy Piper fought with.
Hmm?
Keith David. I guess he's the voice of Goliath. I guess that's one of the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dusty Swiper, stop
That
swiping.
actor is the one who was in They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Sarah
Oh,
said
okay.
I was
okay.
7
And they
in
had that
1994.
big fist fight that lasted like 15 minutes
Mhm.
screen time.
To what Sarah said, I was 7 in 1994.
7?
So was my wife.
Judy.
Oh, God. It took me a second to think of what he just said to register.
Well, he does live in the deep south.
Like Hot Tub Time Machine when he called his wife when she was a kid. He's like, "Why you gotta cheat on me, you bitch?" And Dad answers, "Why are you talking to my 7-year-old daughter like that?" He's like, "Get off the phone, Larry. This is between me and my wife." You ever seen that movie, Jonathan, Hot Tub Time Machine?
Shit, I was just stuck in 1994. Y'all talking about y'all was
The
7.
heat of the lights
The
on the
amount of
hot
shit I was
path is
into.
warming your hearts.
Which movie you said, Justin?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah, so they go back in time. Well, he calls his wife because they were about to get divorced in the future. So he calls his wife up, but she's only like 7 or 8 years old when he calls her on the phone. He's screaming at her about them getting divorced.
Yeah, nah, I ain't see that one. I didn't see that one. Here's my call.
As
What's up,
cheesy as that movie title sounds, it was actually a very funny movie. It was actually not a bad movie. It was pretty good. But the movie title just sounds cheesy as shit.
Yeah, that's probably why I ain't see it.
But they
Hot
all
Tub
get
Time
into a
Machine.
time machine. They all go back to this like ski
Yeah, the
resort
hot
that
tub. The hot tub is a time machine. Yeah.
Yeah, so they all go back to the ski resort that they used to hang out at as teenagers, and they get in
Mhm.
this time machine and they spill this like fucking drink onto the control board of the hot tub, and it like does this thing and it takes them back in time to the 80s when they were teenagers,
Mhm.
and they have to relive that night over again of when they all like kind of met their girlfriends and their future wives and shit. Yeah, it's fun. It's actually a very funny ass movie. Like it's worth watching. It just the title makes it sound really cheesy. But it's actually not that. It's not a cheesy movie by any means. It's
Apart
pretty
from
funny.
Back to the Future, anything with a time machine is just.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
I read a great time travel script that never got made into a movie. Remember Project Greenlight on HBO? They would take different scripts, people submit scripts, and they would pick one, and then they would have a first-time director come in and make a movie. And
I don't remember that. No.
I think Ben Affleck was one of the producers on it, one of the guys. But anyway, they uploaded all the scripts, and there was a script, and it was called. Does anybody remember? Oh, when. Anyway, it was a great way of doing time travel. They could send messages to themselves in the past, but they couldn't actually go to the past. But they could. we screwed up. Okay, so send a message to themselves in the past, so they fix it later. So it's a lot like Groundhog Day, but they had to keep on changing things, and it went totally zany. Turned into like a Bill and Ted's type zany. I think a
It's like-
Nazi showed up, and yeah.
Like every time you frickin' send something back, so it
Hans-
just caused more problems, and you're
Talking
just,
about
Does anybody
travelers?
remember when Hans Gruber invented time travel? I think was the name of the script.
but it's like they tried to fix something, but every time they try to fix something, it'd make it worse.
Right, but
Yeah.
then they would do something
Whatever.
stupid,
Oh,
like
talking about travelers.
they would walk out of the guy was ridiculous. They'd walk out and he would like forget his keys or something and be out at the car. I forgot my keys. All right, I'll go back. But then he'd just change it so that he never forgot his keys, so he didn't look stupid.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, that's
He was just abusing it, and
Go back and down just to get
and
your
it would
keys.
just build.
so. It's kind of like the same premise as Click, how he instead of using the remote control for like big events, he started using it for every little thing.
Right.
And then it fucked up.
Everything, yeah.
And then- yeah.
Right. And then he wanted to do good with it. So it's like, okay, this person drowned, and everything he did to try and save this person from drowning at a dock, he would cause worse stuff to happen. And then he would get accused of murdering somebody at the dock. It just,
Yeah, that actually sounds like that would be a very funny comedy time travel.
when I read
Right.
the script, it stuck with me. I visualized it as I was reading it. I visualized it. I could just see it being made, and the fact that it stuck with me. This came out in like the late 2000s. The TV show did, and I would have read it around that time. The fact that it stuck with me, and I still remember the title and stuff. It kind of tells me that that would have been a good show. I wonder.
Oh, so they never made the show?
They never made it. I wish they would have. They picked
Okay.
another stupid script.
Yeah, it sounds like that'd be like kind of a really, with the right actors, that could be like a comedy time travel type, or really good movie. 'Cause like I said, it kind of has that same premise as Click, where you just start doing it for stupid little shit instead of big events. You know, let's not save the planes from 9/11, but let's do something stupid like remember to fucking wake up in the morning on one day or something. Yeah.
Hans. It wasn't
Eric
Hans.
Bana did a film like that. Cool Cat said.
Hans Gubbenstein. Yeah, does anybody here remember when Hans Gubbenstein invented time travel? I found a synopsis of it.
Never heard it.
Sounds like it'd be a funny script, though. I mean, just for the little bit you described. Because I could see doing something stupid like that, you know, like reminding yourself to get your keys all of a sudden causes something big and major, you know.
I found the link to the script if anybody is interested in reading a movie script that never got made.
I have a few of those.
I like reading like original scripts. I've got on my iPad the original script to Labyrinth.
The only original script I've got is the Blues Brothers.
It's fun reading those and seeing the stuff that they cut out.
I didn't like the Blues Brothers movie that they made.
I didn't like the second one, but the first one was good.
What
Yeah,
about
the,
you guys- what do you guys think about Ghostbusters?
I haven't seen the latest one. I did like
Me, I haven't seen it.
the Afterlife that came out a few years ago. I thought it was okay.
Well, what's great about that new one that just came out is it literally takes off right from where the other one ended. Like it's almost like
Continue.
like they never stopped. It's kind of like you could put both movies and splice them right together. Like
Yeah, it was
There-
like they
there-
missed out the one where they changed them into women completely.
The only
I've
difference
I've
is,
seen parts of that, and I just couldn't get into it. I was just like,
the only thing you can really tell is there is kind of like this couple years gap in between it, because obviously the kids are older
mhm,
and all that, but it
Mhm.
kind of explains what happened in between the two movies.
gotcha.
Kind of gives you a slight story of what happened and how they ended up in New York.
Yeah,
But
the one with Kate McKinnon in it, the Ghostbusters with the women. Well, I didn't like it. It was one of those ad lib movies where they say, "Okay, we're gonna get the actors together, and here's kind of what we want to go along, but you guys go ahead and do all the ad libs you want, and we'll put those funny bits in too." And it's like I don't like when you can see the thumbprints on that in the movies. I mean, occasionally an ad
I
lib line
just-
works well, but
I just don't see where that movie lines up with the rest of the story of the other movies.
it didn't.
Because,
It was
like-
supposed to be a completely different retelling.
Right, because Afterlife, you know, it ties into the older movies and actually talks about what happened in the older movies. You know, because they talk about, oh, remember what happened back in the 80s and all this, and they actually mention a lot of what happened in the last movie from, you know, back when they did them. And so it kind of really ties in together. It kind of ties in nicely together. Plus, they bring all the old original actors back, except for obviously the doctor, because he passed away, the guy that played the scientist. But,
Yeah, I
but
mean-
you know,
In the new one, they even put something in it that would have forwarded our course on our cause. The ghost traps that they have. They had one on a remote control car and one on a Mini 3.
It was a ghost on a Mini 3?
the
No,
ghost
it was
trap.
one of the traps was attached to a Mini 3 so that they could fly it underneath the ghost.
Oh, shit.
But what's cool too is like like I said, they all tie in together. The older movies that were made back in the 80s, 90s, and then the two newer ones, they all tie into each other very nicely. And they talk a lot about what happened in the old movies, and they go to the original scene or the original firehouse that they used in the older movies. They end up in that same firehouse. And so, yeah, they tie in very nicely. The girl one, just like, yeah, that just seems so out of place. Even though, like you said, it was supposed to be like a whole retelling, it just didn't seem like it fit at all. I didn't like, I mean, to me, it was okay. It wasn't like unwatchable, but it just didn't have that same feel to it.
It was quite amusing when they suddenly realised that because they'd been using the same vault to put all the ghosts that they caught in.
Wait,
that
hold on, don't
vault
give it away.
had millions of ghosts in it.
Donald hasn't seen it yet. Don't give too much away.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check that one out.
You gotta watch Afterlife, the one from like 2 years ago, and then you gotta watch the newer one. There's two, but don't watch the one with the girls in it that play, though that one doesn't tie into any of them.
It doesn't?
No, watch Afterlife,
Nah.
and then the newest
Frozen
one that just
Empire.
came out. Frozen Empire.
Frozen
Those are the Afterlife and Frozen Empire both tie into each other, but they also tie into the older films as well. So
Okay.
because the one thing that I can tell you without really giving anything away is the family members, some of the newer Ghostbusters in those two movies are relatives of the older guys from the original team.
But original actors.
Yeah. In the movie, not in real life, but in the movie,
Yeah.
they play as their like descendants. But
Yeah.
what's cool is they bring all the original actors back in the
Back in,
second
yeah.
movie. Yeah, in the last one they just made, they bring all the original actors in, except for the guy that played the scientist with the glasses. I don't remember what his name was.
Egon.
Egon,
You're
yeah, whatever his
the
name
actual
was in real
actor.
life. He died in real life, so they couldn't bring him back. But I'll tell you what, that what they did in the first and Afterlife with him was creepy but cool as hell.
Hmm.
The way they rendered him into the movie, that was a little creepy, but it was cool.
It wasn't as creepy as when they did Carrie Fisher in Rogue One.
Why, she had already died or what?
Oh yeah, and they in Rogue One they made her the young Carrie Fisher, and it was just horrible.
Oh,
The-
they like
The
CGI the
CG
shit
was
out of
just
her,
it looked horrible, and Tarkin didn't look very good either. But at least they kept him kind of in reflection, and they never. And the problem is they didn't have to show Carrie Fisher's face. They didn't have to show Princess Leia at the end of Rogue One, because it was when they brought the plans in. It says, "What does it mean?" or "What is it?" And she says, "Hope," and because that leads right into A New Hope. And if they would have shot it all from the back, you knew who she was from the back. You knew that. She didn't have to show her face. So just have them run in, hand it to her outfit and everything, and what does it mean? And have it would have been much better to not actually show her face.
right?
Well, that was it. I mean, all they had to do was show her from the back because the hairstyle just gave it away, didn't it?
Yep.
I'm waiting for the new Fast and Furious to come out and see how ridiculous this one is. I hate those movies, but I have to watch them every time they come out.
I've watched the first three, I think. I don't remember watching the second one, but I watched Tokyo
Right.
Drift, and my son told me that was the third one, so I must have watched.
So Fast and the
first three.
Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and Tokyo Drift were all reasonable. They were still doing just street racing. They were getting into some criminal activity. But then after the fourth movie, they just fucking went off the wall. Next thing you know, they were NASA engineers building rockets, shooting to space, being fucking astronauts on the moon.
Flying
It's
over
like, Jesus.
buildings and shit.
Yeah, it just got
Destroying
ridiculous.
half of the city.
Yeah.
I hear they're funny. If you just go with it.
They're good, but they like Justice said, they got out of hand, man. They got out of hand.
Well, because
they are
if you
full
go
of
back,
fast-paced action, but yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
they
I
were.
guess my son and the neighbor kid were watching it and just laughing, and because it was so over the top, that's why they liked it, because it was
that's
so
what I'm
ridiculously
saying is
stupid.
sit and watch the whole series, and you'll see how far they strayed from the original premise of the movies to now.
Okay.
They have strayed so far; it's just insane.
Like,
Put it this way: all the movies before that one, they were basically they're somewhat realistic. You could actually see that happening. You know what I'm saying? If he was a person, but then they took it too far to where, come on, man, you know that's you can't do that. You're
Right,
not doing
because the first three movies, they were basically just normal, everyday street racers, but they were doing some criminal activity on the side
Right.
to make money, and the police were investigating them.
I mean,
You know,
like
and that-
like trying to catch a helicopter with the hook and cable off the back of a breakdown truck.
Yeah, or dragging a fucking 40-ton Volt down the road with two fucking Dodge
with
Chargers.
two race car, yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't make it. Yeah, they strayed so far from the original first three movies.
That would say
it just got crazy.
they went beyond what you could literally imagine actually seeing happen, because we know you ain't ever gonna see that happen. You'll see, you can imagine seeing a bunch of cars going down the highway, jumping on a truck, hijacking it, and you know what I mean. So when it comes to your brain input, like, yeah, that's possible. But now when you take something like that, then you start doing things that's impossible. Now you took it too far. So
like the last movie, how it ended, and when he went down the side of the dam in the car.
Yeah.
As the dam was exploding, like the dam was literally cracking.
Back in car,
that was ridiculous. I'm
damn near
sorry.
on fire.
Like literally, imagine a car going down the side of the Hoover Dam.
It wouldn't have went straight there. It'd have been flipped. Look, it'd have been destroyed before it even got to the bottom.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how you can imagine exactly how that. If you haven't seen it, that's how the ending scene was. It was like you driving a car straight down the side of the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, I've seen it.
As it's breaking open,
right,
and about to flood, and you actually make it to the bottom and drive off. Like, no, what the fuck? Yeah, the physics are definitely broken, Michael. 100% in those movies. Physics doesn't exist.
House of Dragons is about to start back up. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I heard that.
y'all was catching that. Yeah, they about to start back up.
It's on Monday night
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. Like
That's good.
on Sky Atlantic over here.
last year, I've gotten so much into like the space stuff. I like space sci-fi
Hey,
movies.
hey, Jonathan.
I've always loved space stuff.
You know who the biggest dragon is, right?
Who the biggest dragon is?
Yeah.
He's the one that's down in the cave.
HR Puff and stuff.
That the only time you in fact you don't even see him, you just hear them when they go down there and get to talking, breathing and stuff.
Nope. The biggest dragon is me. Dragging this dick around.
I hate it for you. Listen, I hate it for you because if you dragging it around, that means you got all kind of cobblestones and grass stains. Oh my God, you're burning.
Let's see. I knew Donald
That was
was
getting nasty
asking
now.
not because he was generally watching the show, but he was about to say something, and Jonathan got all serious and was like, what is the biggest dragon?"
You're burning.
I did that to my nephew when because I saw he got in an argument with a friend of his about dragons and whatever because he got into that show and I watched it. It was a good show, but I knew he was just prime for it, so I asked him, and he went off on a big history, and he wrote a paragraph or two in text to me about the dragons, the history of the dragons in Westeros, and how this dragon, and then the largest dragon ever was this dragon, but the biggest dragon currently in the timeline is this dragon going off, and then I gave him that punchline, and he just responded with, "I hate you."
So how many previous series have there been of it?
Well, you have this is a prequel. House of the Dragon is a prequel to Game of Thrones.
All right.
This is season 2. This will be season 2 here.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Game of Thrones was good, but there was just so much side story going on in that show. That if you missed one, if
you
missed
don't know
one-
how, you've never read the books. The books are insane.
But I'm just saying, like in the show, if you missed 20 minutes of an episode, you'd be completely fucking lost about what was going on.
And they cut out so much from the books.
I never did catch Game of Thrones. When House of Dragons came out, somebody put me on the House of Dragons, and I watched it till I caught up, and then every week, they came out with an episode. But they told me that it revived from Game of Thrones, so I actually need to go watch that. I don't know how many versions. I mean, it's like what, 3 versions?
That'll take you over a couple of weeks.
Game
of non-stop watching.
How many seasons of Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
It was like 8 or 9, wasn't there?
I want to say it was 8.
Yeah.
8 seasons? Jesus.
Yeah.
But like I said, with Game of Thrones, you have to pay attention to what's going on because there are so many fucking side stories that it will get confusing if you don't pay attention.
Testing 1, 2.
Check.
Fuck off.
Oh, you're better now.
Brilliant. Thank you, Justin. You cheeky bastard.
Heard a bird.
Wasn't me, I promise.
Bird is the word.
David, obviously.
Rio.
David, are you still there?
Birdman.
David.
David.
Oh, he's ballsy. He got up and just walked away and left his mic unmuted.
Oh yeah.
He went to go. He went to go eat out.
I wonder if he's got one of those voice-activated thingies.
Well, normally you'd have an
yeah.
open mic or push to talk. So you'd have to push a
Oh,
button to
they-
talk. That's your 2 normal settings you would have on most streaming.
Was
platforms
he
and
and Laura going out or?
Mhm.
That was
Might be going eat in.
Joe?
Is that eating in or out?
Eating out.
Again.
Well, let's just get this straight. Is eating out the
Yeah.
bedroom
Yeah,
thing?
It's the definition of being 69.
Eating out is what,
Oh,
what you do. When,
eating out.
eating out is what you do when you can't get it straight.
Right. So what do I say
Well,
instead of that then?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fellatio.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I'm 69. I thought it was gonna be a good year. It hasn't been that good.
I'm so glad TJ ain't here.
What's a colloquially
I
neutral
hope to
term
God
to
there's no
use then?
kids in Lance's classroom right now.
Well, I hope
What
he's
you
got the
got there,
mic.
Lance? That's the N2S, ain't it?
Nice.
Oh, is that that's the Insta 360?
For those people that have cats, it's called licking the pussy.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Make sure you take your glasses off so they don't get
What
broken.
Paul
You're
said?
muted, Lance, by the way, so we can't hear what you're saying.
Lance, we can't hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I
Michael.
mean, that's
it's
not
Fellatio.
necessarily a
It'd
bad
be
thing.
better if I
but-
unmuted.
Glacio,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, it's the
That's the
sphere.
Insta 360.
It's the sphere. Yep, it's the
Yeah.
sphere for the Air 2S.
Did you
And
just
I
get it
flew
or
this
you
thing.
had it already?
Yes, I've had it. I've had it for a couple months now, and I've flown it a couple times. But this is
How is it? How is it?
I
All right, now
love
we
it.
get to see a shitty
It's-
flying in
it shimmers a
360.
little- it shakes and shimmers a little bit if you're if you're hovering, but once you take off, it's fine. And it doesn't show that in the footage either, the shimmering. So it does a pretty good job. One of the drawbacks is, first you want to turn on the controller, then you want to turn on the drone. You want to establish connection, GPS. Once it establishes GPS, turn on the sphere.
Yeah.
Once you turn on the sphere, you get knocked off the GPS. So it knocks you off, for about 3 to 5 minutes. It eventually comes back on, then you can launch. What I do
The
sometimes,
sphere knocks off your GPS.
it knocks you off just like I said. You're on the ground still, right? You
Right.
haven't launched. So you turn on the sphere, it knocks you off of GPS. It'll come back in about
You're
3
gonna
to
wait
5
for it to come back.
So the sphere just interferes for a second,
But
or a
you
minute,
don't want to have your drone sitting on the ground spinning for 5 minutes waiting for
No,
that to
it's
come.
not, no.
You don't have to spin it.
No, you're not. You haven't launched anything. You just turned the power on.
Okay,
Okay.
listen,
But
explain.
Jonathan, Jonathan, the worst part about it is the pilot flying it, though.
And then, or what I do. So, Jonathan, this is what else I do. If it's not windy like this morning, I still had. So when I had
He's ignoring
GPS
me.
this morning, I had 20 satellites.
He
I
is.
turned on the sphere, it knocked me off. It still had 20 satellites. It said no GPS. What I did, there was no wind. I took it up for about 20 feet,
Yeah.
and it covered perfectly, and it reestablished right away. So, it took all of 30 seconds to do that. So it
Lance
just
ain't having
depends
none of
on
my bullshit
whether you
today.
want to be safe and lock on before you launch, or go ahead and launch it, and it'll once it gets to a certain height, it gets connection. So
Let's get this straight. It's a camera. It's a 360 camera, is it?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Camera here,
Okay, cool.
camera here.
So the footage. Okay. I want to say it was.
Yeah.
I
So
want to say
one
it
does
was-
one hemisphere and the other one does the other hemisphere.
Yep. And you don't see the drone at all.
All right, cool. Sorry, Jonathan, I spoke over you. Go for it, mate.
No, you good because I'm trying to remember exactly who it was. It wasn't Russ. It wasn't Russ. It was
Thank you, Lance.
when that first came out, somebody did a review on it.
It's been out a couple of years. Yeah.
It had, if you would look real closely to your footage, right? There was like a line going straight across the middle of the screen.
Very tiny, very tiny. There's a
So
green,
they haven't
there's a
fixed
green
that
line
then.
in mine.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. So
That's why I didn't buy one of those. Because I was waiting to see if they were ever gonna fix that.
That and the fact that they only actually ever made the brackets to make it fit the Air 2 or the Air 2S.
The Air 2S, yeah.
Couldn't
So
put
I
it on
just
any
put a link.
other drone.
I put a link into my parking garage that I shot yesterday. Maybe I'll share it. Let's see if I share.
Yeah, if you share it, I don't have to give you the view for it.
Yeah, I don't want you to give me the view, bitch.
Hmm.
Okay. Here we go.
You pissed the ball.
So, you know, and interactive, right? There I am. You see my bald head. Mount Rainier is going to be right there.
Great quality. I love it.
Kids graduate from here today.
He's got the interactive on there with the music. You need to teach Matt that.
This
What's
is
that
the-
big
so
globe
you look,
round
there's a
thing?
green line. There's a green, slight green horizontal line. No, vertical line.
Vertical line, yeah.
See if I can find it. Very faint.
What's happening with those trees in the distance? That looks. This looks like an aberration.
Yeah,
See
when
what I
you
mean? What is
yeah.
that? When you pause it on the tree aberration, Lance, just go back a few seconds.
Okay.
I want to point something out to Don so he can
scroll back to where you're pointing a minute ago. It's not back a few seconds. Just change your angle back to what it was before.
I don't know where I was. Sorry. Was I pointed down?
I think you're pointing at the tree line. I think.
tree line. Yeah. Keep going round. Keep going round. The degrees around. That's it. That's it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Right there, you get some aberration. See
Bit
the
more.
doubling?
Yeah, see it.
That's
Yeah,
I saw
that is.
Yeah, I saw
Thank
that
you.
doubling
Look.
yesterday on your video that you had over the water.
Yeah, you will get some of that for
Yeah.
sure.
It's just an artifact from the stitching, and especially when you got those hemispheres separated by a
Oh,
bit.
of course. Yeah, stitching it together, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
stitching.
that was the problem right there. Wishing that why I didn't buy the Insta360.
Hold on, I got a question of something that I
What's
saw
happening there as well?
in 15
Sorry, go on.
seconds in the video looking straight up. You look like you caught a spaceship, bro.
I did.
I'm not
Look
even
at that.
kidding. It's like
Yeah.
some weird like anomaly.
Hey,
Yeah.
And it's even more defined at 15 seconds.
Yeah, listen, Justin, you're putting Lance on the spot there. If he identifies the fact that he knows, he's probably going to get his anus probed. He doesn't want his anus probed. You can understand, right? You've got to pretend that they
Yeah,
aren't
it's
there.
like some weird kind of light anomaly or something.
I think that's the moon.
An alien spacecraft. Clear.
Oh,
Really
that's the
small.
sun.
Zoom in on that.
No, because the sun's off on the side.
Yeah, but that's the only light anomaly we have in Britain.
Since
this
he's
is gonna
not
go viral.
moving,
I found
it could
I
just
found
be
a
a
spaceship.
reflection of the light on the lens. That's a lens.
Is it a
That
little
could be a
lens
lens.
flare or something?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I would like to imagine it's a UFO.
You can imagine whatever you
Yeah.
want.
The thing is, Justin, if you were flying a UFO,
Oh, I
if you
didn't
were an
see it.
alien,
I think
where would you want to fly in the picture? You would want to
I
fly
know,
just
Jonathan.
behind the lens
would
flare.
like to have that original file, Jonathan.
You still didn't get it?
I still have not seen it in my email.
Oh my GG. I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to
it looks
get
like it.
I think that someone's trying to stop you
No,
from contacting me.
Now,
It's the
that-
government.
man, listen, because you know they listen to everything, right?
Okay. Oh, I want to. Whenever you get done there, I want to show something.
Good clear
with the video.
picture though, isn't it?
But yeah, that
So-
same little segment where it's stitching. That's why I didn't like the 360 video that I had in the passenger seat of my buggy when I did
Okay.
360. But the other day when I set it up, I set that hemisphere line right
Yeah.
on the roll bar, so it's not as
Okay.
noticeable, and it's
So let me,
also hidden in some of the motion blur.
Let me ask you, Donald. You said he wasn't moving. Now, I'm just curious because this does kind of just curious. Now, it seems like the drone is moving around, and that's not actually moving. It's staying stationary. Would that still be something with the lens?
Is that moving around, or is the
No,
drone
his-
moving, or are
Yeah,
we moving?
the drone's moving.
That's not being moved by the cursor, or by
No,
the
no,
mouse.
I'm not touching. No, the mouse is right here. I'm not touching it. And it's staying stationary.
That is an alien. It's an alien.
It is
guy.
an alien, exactly.
So would that still be from the no, I'm generally curious. Would that still be from the camera?
It could still be. I mean, you're not changing. What you're looking at there is just a little bit of movement, and a little bit of movement would not negate the.
That's not
what
no
lens flares can
reflection.
be is that hot spot of sun coming in and interacting inside that lens. As long as the relationship with the camera and the sun is not changing that much, you're not going to see that much of a movement.
Okay. I was just generally curious. Like, I don't know enough about cameras to know that. I noticed that it started right after 15 seconds, and I was kind of curious.
If the camera itself was changing its orientation to the sun, you would see more movement in lens flare. But if it's relatively stable and just moving this way, you're not going to see much of a difference. It's when it does this type of a change on the lens that you'd see the movement in the lens flare.
Okay.
So I bought that on Valentine's Day for $358. And then I bought you guys remember my fiasco with the Air 2S and the guy in France, and had to get my money back there. I ended up getting it on $315. I got the Flymore kit from Adorama as well.
Okay.
You bought that on Valentine's Day. I hope you bought the wife something nicer.
That was for her.
Yeah.
You bought it for her, said, I thought you'd like a 360 camera. I'm not going to use that. Well, I'll just take it then. I'll find a use
Yeah.
for it.
No one can ever say that Lance isn't generous. Excuse the double negative.
She saw a fiasco the one year. My stepdad bought my mom a vacuum. Oh my God, dude.
You know,
She
today,
busters.
no joke, is my 27th anniversary. And I'm
Oh,
trying to
nice.
figure out
Happy anniversary.
I'm trying to figure out where to take my wife for dinner after she gets done mowing the lawn when she get off work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she can grab a few minutes.
Well, she
The
needs to
honor.
get, she needs to get the lawn mowed before we go
so-
out. But
Obviously.
Basically, you're gonna go eat out.
Yeah.
not after she's
Yeah,
mowed
we
the lawn.
understand.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That all depends on which lawn she's mowing.
That's true.
Justin,
And I didn't
met
know,
my wife-
I didn't know that they started calling restaurants, divorce lawyers restaurants.
The thing is, though, she's going to be very hungry after that work, and after doing all that manual work, if she's hungry and you take her to an expensive restaurant,
Is it really your anniversary today, though?
Yeah, Flag Day.
Happy
happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Well, you-
Seven.
you-
John, what you're saying is after mowing the lawn should be seasoned, right?
After mowing the lawn, he's gonna go eat out.
But I heard.
All right,
Well,
you
you-
guys
you-
are just
I know
you
I'm
guys
the
are
only
just
one who heard it.
you guys are just making
Yeah.
things dirty on purpose.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
embarrassed
know
for
what to
Don
do
now.
with you.
Yeah,
My sensibilities are completely offended. I don't normally go into this double entendre type stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Too good for it.
Yeah, right.
Sing Donald a happy anniversary song.
Yeah.
What do we get? What are we going to
Yeah.
sing?
Donald,
Ooh,
take her for a Chinese, but don't get
Ooh,
number
Hong Kong
94.
style, sweet and sour.
crispy
you-
children balls.
Yeah.
Oh my
I should
God.
imagine they're very small balls, sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, that's kind of
Now, well, you got to take her wherever her favorite restaurant is.
Mm.
After 27 years, you should know
I
that.
think her favorite. Yeah, it's called a place called I don't know. I don't care. Something like that.
Oh, I
Well,
thought it
that
was
might be sending. That might be sending the
Oh,
wrong.
let him fool you. He's a big
the
softy
wrong-
for his wife.
Because it's like, where you want to eat? I don't care.
I thought she
Look,
said
I love
bed.
that
I
place.
thought she said bed and breakfast.
McDonald's.
Bed and
Look,
breakfast.
Checking a KFC.
Yeah, take it to McDonald's and said, well, you said you didn't care.
Well, I think it's really nice. I think
No,
it's a great-
I've heard a great
That's
hack where you say I'm going to take you out for dinner tonight, to someplace nice. You'll never guess what it is. And when the first guess they do, you say, yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's actually a very good hack. Good job, there. You should actually try that. That'd be funny as shit. You film
Damn, how did you
yourself
know?
trying that.
The problem is my wife is smarter than me. She would see through that in a second.
Well, that's not a new revelation, is it?
I thought we already knew that.
Well, she's obviously something wrong with her mentally, or else she wouldn't have married me.
Well, she married Don, so how smart can she be? You know, with all due respect.
Well, that's what happens when you chase them and chase them and chase them, and they finally figure out the only way to get away is to join them.
Yeah, I chased her till she tripped.
Yep.
Ain't beat them, join them.
She tripped and fell, and Don was on her like a hawk. Just
Don picked her up. You're mine now.
that's right.
Precious. Precious. Precious.
Yeah, potato, patata, girlfriend, victim, whatever.
Where you been at, David? We could hear the birds chirping. We were talking to you, but you weren't answering. And then he's gone again. What the fuck?
And he's gone again, yeah.
Just comes in, says some random shit, and then leaves for 20 more minutes.
Have to try to act like he's still there.
Somebody's having a fit.
Either that or he's in there trying to hack on Laura.
Oh, sorry.
Was that Michael hacking away there?
Sounded like it.
A smoker's cough.
I got worried for Art. Oh, that was last week. He was on a stream and he started coughing and everybody else was talking along and he had muted himself and he's over to the side and I was just like, might have to call 911 because he wasn't breathing. He was in one of those coughing fits where you could tell he could not breathe in because every time he breathed in, it would set him off again.
Lloyd does that sometimes. Lloyd can get into some bad coughing fits.
And it's like I'm like reaching for the phone. I'm like, I don't know if I need to call somebody or.
Better be sorry. That was ridiculous, Michael.
The change in weather between the Philippines and coming back home gave him a cold.
Yeah.
But no, poor Lloyd, that's happened to him quite a few times where he's actually had to get off the stream because he was coughing so bad. In the middle of the stream, he had to leave.
Well, apart from his smoking, that could have something to do with his Parkinson's.
He came on my live show. I was the first show he came on after his wife passed away, and he was on there talking about that he thinks that she was getting on to him about smoking because he was sitting in the room and all of a sudden an ashtray crashed and broke on the floor in the other room. Like a couple days after she passed away. And he took that as a sign that she was mad at him for smoking again.
It's one of those things where you think, even though it's obviously not the case, it might be good for him to think that, you know? I don't know where I am on it, to be honest. But I think it would be great if you did.
I find the paranormal to be interesting, but I've never seen anything. I've only ever had one weird thing happen to me. I was like 16 and I was at my dad's house and I was there alone and I thought I heard my dad call my name from his room. And that was the only weird thing I ever had happen to me, but I've never
can't believe you've only ever had one weird thing happen to you.
Well, I'm talking about paranormal wise. Like if you want to consider that paranormal, I guess. I don't know. I've never like seen a ghost or anything. I've never seen anything.
There's very simple explanations for all these things anyway. It's not difficult.
But like I said, it does interest me. But the problem is all these ghost shows are so overblown. You can't, you know, that just makes the whole conversation about that. It makes it just look ridiculous at the end of the day.
And none of them have ever discovered a ghost, which is
like
incredible,
Ghost
right?
Adventures Ghost Adventures was really good the first couple seasons. They were very genuine, and then they just went off the fucking wall. Now every episode, one of them's possessed, and Yeah, it makes it gives that whole, anybody that's legitimately really trying to study that field, like from a scientific standpoint, it makes the whole thing just look ridiculous.
Well,
I'll
let's not
give you-
pretend that
I'll give you
any
a
scientists
little-
really study it.
You're already on me there.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, let's be honest. No one's legitimately studying that field.
There are
Yeah.
some
They
universities
might call
that
themselves
have
scientists,
paranormal,
but they ain't scientists.
but there are some universities that do have paranormal research.
Dude,
within
there are
their
universities who
universities.
teach fucking gender studies. You know, what's your point?
I know that.
It
I'm
used
just
to be.
saying.
It used to be that education and academia was a proper place for learning things, but now we've got so many fucking pseudo subjects. Usually ending with the word studies. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Sorry, it sounded as if I was
No,
snapping
I'm
at you.
saying
Justin. I
there's
wasn't. I was just trying to be.
There are scientists out there that have actually gone and tried to study it from a more scientific standpoint, but
Well, Donald's got
it
a
makes
doctor.
their whole research look ridiculous because of all the bullshit that's out there
Donald's
about
got
it.
a doctorate degree in eating pussy.
What? Where the fuck did that come from? That was so off the wall.
Who has a doctorate?
You.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Holy shit.
How do you know that? I don't hang it on the wall
Damn.
anymore.
He keeps it in a drawer
Well,
usually.
you got to keep it in the drawers.
Yeah, and there was a competition in Europe, the muff diving championships. He's
Yeah,
wearing a
that's
snorkel and a face mask.
Here's a British thing that
doctor.
Justin might not know about. Justin, have you ever heard of the show Naked Attraction?
Oh God, what a shit!
Oh,
fucking
not
show.
I
really.
have,
Action or naked
yes,
and
I have
afraid.
heard of it, but
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
Awful.
It's the one where two people go on a date
No,
naked,
lots of people.
No.
right? Isn't it? Or am I
No.
thinking of
David will
something else?
explain.
No,
David
Go,
just
David.
got back just in time.
this
Okay, I'm thinking.
this
of
is
something else then.
this is amazing to me that this is a show that people watch.
Right.
Okay, explain it.
He's in the UK though.
It's in the UK, yeah. Basically, you go on the show, and you have the person who is going to be the person choosing. It's like the dating game, but you're standing there, and they lift up. They have three people behind screens, and you lift up the screens a certain point.
Mm.
Okay, so who would you like to eliminate? Who do you like? And then lift up the screen. Lift up the screen until you're basically judging based on how attractive a person is naked until you finally see their face last.
While they're doing it, they're all pretending that personality is important and they're not
Yeah.
shallow and everything like that. And they go, "Which one? I want the one with that nice muff there. I like her fanny or something." It's
Yeah.
weird.
Davina McCall asked some really brilliant
Have they
questions.
never heard of the paper bag?
Do you like?
What the hell shows are y'all watching?
It is the most insane thing. I was like, is that really a show?
Joe,
And I
Joe's
looked
kind
up,
of
it's
pissed
like,
because
oh
you
my
guys
God.
didn't share the show with him.
Oh, see,
I
where's
never
that?
seen that show.
Oh, you can find
I don't
episodes, I
wanna see
believe,
that
on
show.
YouTube.
Yeah, and at the end, when there's only two people left for her to pick from, the person who's picking has to go and get naked as
Yeah,
well.
they go get naked, and then they come out, and then they talk to each other and get ready to. Okay, you guys gonna go on a date, blah blah blah, and they're both standing there naked,
They
stark
compare
ass
these
naked. It's
and
like
Oh, shit.
I
Too
gotta
much for
tell
me.
you, I couldn't
Andy,
watch more
no.
than 3 minutes of it.
It's not just
Okay,
men
I didn't need to
picking
watch
women.
any more than 3 minutes of it.
It's not just men picking women or women picking men. They
Oh, no.
also have they have women picking women and men picking men.
Uh huh.
Oh no, see,
So Don, all you needed was 3 minutes.
Yeah, all I needed was 3 minutes.
All you needed was 3 minutes.
Holy
right, Don?
shit! Yeah,
He's
they
a
show
3-minute
everything on
man.
YouTube.
Oh yeah, you're looking at it. Yeah, it's like
Yes.
isn't that the
A
most
lot.
insane thing?
Yeah.
And we talk
I
about
wanna see
how
it now.
American TV is trash, and then you see that. It's like, oh my god.
Well, they're definitely more liberal with their
And this is
allowing
coming
nudity
from-
on TV.
Yeah, this
Was
is
that
coming
Reagan?
from a fan.
Channel
You guys
4.
know I'm a huge fan of British television, but that is garbage.
Well, what I'm saying is like overseas, they tend to allow more nudity on there.
Well, I'm sorry, Donald. On
We had
this
to watch
occasion,
Skinamax to get nudity.
Only after 9 o'clock at
On
night.
this occasion, I am right.
on this occasion, you are 100% correct.
Yep.
This is why they put it on at midnight on Channel 4 and like
Well, to be
only
fair,
the deadheads.
it's
are
not like
still
Donald
away.
was trashing all of UK TV. Just
Oh
said
no,
that
that's why I
particular-
made. They know. They
Yeah.
know that I'm a fan of British television because I talk about it a lot.
I
Yeah,
think the reason it works is because they put it on so late that people come home from the pub, absolutely K-Live, turn the TV on and go, wow, this
I
porn
could-
channel's got a good.
I could see actually. Now that you said that, I could see hanging out with your friends into the night. You sit down and you all are laughing and pointing at the dorks hanging out and saying, "Look at that one."
No.
It looks like that one. It doesn't look like he strokes it. It looks like
I
he
bet
wrings
they're-
it out.
I bet the male audience was higher on that show than female.
That just proves that the
I
human
think you'll
body
find
is
it
a
the other
little
way
bit
round.
more elastic than you think it is.
But don't worry, Donald, I'll fill in your application form for you.
Okay.
Well, we
Just for a
we
laugh.
just an advert for House of the Dragon then.
Thing is, the concept is sold as sexually liberating, and I just don't think it is at all. And it is trash. As
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the concept is, apart from alcohol and drugs, late night television is just bad.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's a
really
dating
weird
show
though,
with-
because they're naked on the show, and then when they go for a date, they fully dressed.
But the other reason I can see people
Yeah, man.
watching it on the other channels, we have BBC News, which is a repeat of what's been going on during the day. Then we've got some
really.
sort of government advertising on BBC Two. ITV have got their tele shopping. Do you want to buy a drone that you can't fly? Then you've got Channel 5 with the gambling. So literally all you got left is Channel 4 and Naked Attraction.
Yeah. Well, Channel 4 is state-sponsored propaganda, as BBC One.
Well,
BBC One is absolute shit. And it
they
used
would
to be
only have-
great.
They would only have
Other
to
than
get
the
to my
fact that
waist
you've
and the
got
girl would be like, I'll
600
take that tripod.
Michael, did you say propaganda or pornography?
Propaganda.
Right, Channel 4 is state owned, but it has to make its money from advertising.
Yeah.
Where
So it's
BBC
like
One and
BBC
2
One,
is in the
but
TV
with
line.
advertising.
Well, they could do a spin-off on, you want to be a hooker,
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
that might be a good idea.
I tell you what, I'm gonna start writing down the topics we go over.
Well, if Paul just turned on the AI companion down at the bottom, it would give us a full summary of everything we were talking about.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You just know that you're all when Paul calls this, you're all going on YouTube and watching some episodes.
I've already seen
Hold
it.
on.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm going to go and look at that film that Don recommended earlier on. What's
The
it
script.
called? The one with Paulie. What's his face? Paulie.
Pauly Shore.
Oh, Pauly Shore,
Sure.
son-in-law,
Son-in-law. Yeah, that's the one.
son-in-law, or Encino Man was
Biodome.
okay.
Yeah.
Biodome was approaching the end of how much I could tolerate the weasel.
Because you said
And
it was
now it's
good.
a
and I-
problem. Right
And I
there.
usually go and have a look down the odd rabbit hole that you suggest because sometimes there's good things to be gleaned.
Yeah,
Always.
son-in-law was a fun romantic comedy.
Well, what it was basically, like the premise of the movie was he was kind of an outgoing LA type attitude. And she came from a very wholesome Midwest town where everybody was real, religious and churchy, and he didn't really fit the bill of what they wanted their daughter to marry.
It's guess who's coming to dinner, but instead of race, it was having to do with the weasel coming to a farm, and the weasel was a crazy weird.
Got you. Justin, when you say South southwestern, like proper.
like a
You mean that-
Midwest.
Midwest. So you're saying that they are kind of conservative of thought, like behavior. You know, like proper, no sex before
Well,
marriage,
like-
that sort of thing. Is that what you mean?
They're more Presbyterian and
Kind of like more,
Methodist and things
not
like that.
necessarily like
Yeah.
proper, like upscale, but like more churchy type town, I guess you would say, a more small town type feel.
Is that a stereotype
I
or
don't know, it's
meme
kinda-
that's popular?
I mean, kind of, but you get a lot of drama in small towns too. That's why I don't like small towns. You have more
Okay.
drama when you live in a small town. Because everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody and all their fucking business.
It's less so now, but back when this movie came out, it was in the 90s, and yeah, you could still, it was still a little more buttoned up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it wasn't like
we-
you come
and
into
he
town
wasn't-
and you dress weird, you're going to drive you out of town, boy. It's not
Right,
like that.
and then he was like, kind of like, he wasn't like a hard-working, like manly type man in the movie, which, you know, her
Yeah.
family were all farmers that worked hard and
That
that's who
is
they
still
you know what I'm
accurate.
saying?
That
Yeah,
would
that's-
still be accurate.
That's who they expected her to marry, some hard-working, real manly man, and he just
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
fit that bill in the movie. But it was a very funny comedy for what it was, like.
Yeah, it's a good little romantic comedy.
I'm gonna watch it this
And,
afternoon.
and I would say it's more comedy than romance.
Nope,
But
it's a
there's-
romantic comedy.
I would say
Also,
more comedy.
If I would argue it is a romantic comedy. It fits all the hallmarks of a romantic comedy.
No, I'm just saying I would say there's more comedy in it than romantic. But I would agree with you, it's a romantic comedy.
I would say
Well,
it's
I
a
can't
comedy
really,
romantic.
I can't really make this argument without spoiling the movie for Cool Cat, who is going to watch it later, and I don't want to spoil the movie for
See,
Eli, who
I'm
hasn't
the
watched
type
it.
of person, you can tell me the whole fucking script and I'll still want to watch the movie. Because it's not the same as seeing
Well,
it.
yeah, but it would have to be voluntary. I wouldn't just try and ruin it.
Right.
I'm going to
Like-
watch a film later on, and I'm going to give you clues as to what that film is. First one to recognize what film it is, okay? First clue,
I can't-
space.
I can't really believe it's not butter.
Star Wars.
Yeah. So, no. Keep going. Sorry, space. Jodie Foster.
Contact.
Boom. There you go. But yeah, I think I shouldn't have said Jodie Foster. I should have said something else instead, actually. I probably should have given you a few lesser clues.
Thing?
Okay,
Contact
so
is
the
great
AI
film.
has caught up with this conversation. It said the meeting involves a group of participants discussing various films. The initial talk about the movie called Son-in-Law, recommended by Donald Doss. There's
That's
a lot
so
more,
nice.
but I will not gonna sit there and read the whole thing.
So the AI gathers everything together and summarizes it.
Yeah, and at the end it says, towards the end, they all agree not to spoil the movie for Cool Cat. Hashtag likes, who plans to watch it later.
I don't think Don. Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, you can ask Don what he thinks because he's right here. But I don't think Don is too enamored with the notion of AI somehow. He's not like. And I get it too. I get the fact that he's not too keen on AI voices and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but the use of this here as summarizing something, I think that's good use of it.
I think it is good use too.
Especially if you were doing like a business meeting or something. I mean,
A lot of
that's-
times every
something
month
good to have.
we will run reports and you'll get data back from like Google Analytics and you have what national averages and stuff are and you say, hey, take a look at this data and compare it to this data, which is national averages and stuff. Tell us where the new data, tell us where this is actually improving and how it
Brad?
looks compared to national averages and summarize that for us. And it's a great tool for that because you're treating it like a calculator.
Right. Yeah.
But a
Well,
smart
AI
calculator, intelligent calculator.
Well, it's like the sheriff's department here was they're starting to introduce AI into a lot of their. So what they're doing is they like I said, they're working with that university here in Florida. They're going to take the entire records of the entire sheriff's department and upload it to AI. And then they said, the one guy was explaining, he said the best thing about AI taking all this information is it's going to be able to connect all the shit that all detectives and just the human element missed. So we'll say it might be able to connect cases they didn't know were connected. You know what I'm saying? Because it will say, hey, this guy was over here and did this, but then 2 weeks later he was over here, but you guys missed that. You need to be looking at this information in the middle that connects it. You
There's
know, and
that's
where
another
it
good
comes
use
from.
of AI is that they showed screenings to AI of cancer, and the AI can pick it out on the pictures faster than a doctor can, and a lot of times doctors will miss the cancer screening based on the imaging, but the AI has been trained on positives enough to detect it.
And that's one of the things with AI and medical too, is they're saying, you know, AI is going to be able to look at like a specific type of cancer, and it's going to say, it's going to take all the information we've ever gathered about cancer. It's going to put it together, and it's going to say, hey, you guys missed this. You could use this compound to treat it. And you know what I'm saying? It'll try to give you the best cure possible.
Because
when they put AI through the whole, when those guys decided to turn the AI evil just to test it out, and they said, take VX gas and see if you can make something worse than that, because that's one of the worst gases on Earth. And this thing started coming up with all these compounds scientists didn't even know existed. Thousands of compounds.
I'm a fan of AI, but it needs to have oversight.
And that's the problem, is there's no, like here in Florida, they're going to start setting up regulations because they've been finding that child predators are using it in a negative way to redo pictures and stuff of children and stuff. And so that's the Florida's looking into putting legislation in for AI, but nobody else is doing it. The federal government hasn't done anything. Most other states haven't done it, and most countries around the world haven't looked into putting any kind of legislation in for it. And the thing is AI is doubling in power every single month.
Well, the problem you get in that,
yearly.
and this is not condoning it, but you're talking about AI generated images of children.
They're taking, I don't know exactly what they.
So there's
were
no
doing.
actual child exploitation going on. They're creating it with AI.
I don't know if they're creating it from scratch or if they're putting the kids' faces.
See,
on
at that
other,
point,
I don't
was
know
gonna say,
exactly.
If it is something that they are creating,
but they don't.
You're going into a freedom of speech thing, and there's no victim. When there's a victim, that's when
it's different.
I think.
Because people using child porn is because of that supply and demand. They are responsible for the abuse of that child indirectly.
Yes.
You know, but they are responsible. They're creating the demand. And that demand is being met by children being abused.
Now, I don't remember exactly how they said. They didn't really go into super detail because he doesn't like to go into detail about certain things like that because he doesn't want to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but he was saying something about taking kids' faces and putting them on bodies and doing some other things. So in a way, you are using part of the child, a real child's photo, to redo it, and then that's a way of exploiting, and that's what they're trying to counteract, pretty much, from what I could gather.
That is different.
So,
but also the thing is, we know that AI needs to be trained on a data set. So if anybody has an AI that can produce those type of images, they had to have fed it a data set.
Yeah,
right.
So there will be
and that's the thing
and that reference material is from real people.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the
there
way
is a line
Florida
to be
was
drawn.
looking at it was they said they want to set legislation in place so somebody could say, well, I created the AI, but I didn't tell that guy how to do it. I didn't tell that guy to do that with it, even though they specifically built it for that. So they want to be able to hold the creator accountable as and the person that's using it for nefarious reasons. But see, that's the thing though, is this whole AI, like you said, freedom of speech, constitution. Dude, they really got to start diving into this shit and really define. The Supreme Court needs to step up and define what is acceptable and what's not. You know what I'm saying? And they really need to put some kind of legislation in place because there needs to be human oversight on all this shit at the end of the day.
And good morning, Brad.
But yeah, that's the problem is like even a lot of countries or other countries around the world aren't really doing anything to step in. Now, Chat GPT, a lot of people, a lot of other companies are using that as the backbone of their own versions of AI. They're using Chat GPT. Now they're doing a pretty decent job on their own trying to keep the AI from being able to do nefarious things. But like the sheriff said, there's always, you put any new technology out there, there's going to be bad actors out there that try to twist it to work for what they wanted to do for their own agenda, right?
Yeah.
So that's
because this is such a sensitive topic as well. There's always going to be some like a quick reaction, and it's not always a good idea. It needs to be thought about and figured out.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be sat down, and they really need to start thinking about it. Where does it draw the line in certain cases, like Donald said, constitutional reasons? They got to come up with, does it affect copyright laws? Is it going to infringe on copyright laws in any way? I mean, there's so many different things that this AI could infringe on. And if they don't have any laws set in place, and then people start suing in courts over it, and there's nothing that gives a standard, it's going to tie up in courts for years because it's going to be a debate between the court and what they think is right and what's wrong. And that can tie court cases up for years.
It wouldn't matter because wouldn't AI win the court case? If it's all this almighty and intelligent, surely they would just get AI to fight its own court case.
But what happens? Who has the better AI lawyer?
True that. I mean, if you could feed an AI every law that we have on the books, and you train it and you tell it you have to follow the letter of the law, period, and make it to as non-biased, make it completely non-biased, and it has to just follow what the laws are written and how they're written. And if it could figure out how to define those laws and all that, I would be curious to see what it would do in an actual, if you set up like a mock-up court case and see how it would actually act as if you put it in like the judge's seat.
Yeah, well,
you know, and see how it would act as a judge.
Sends itself to prison.
That takes out any type of humanity out of it, and a lot of cases are tried more lenient because of humanity. There's leniency and there's also persecution based on that humanity that is introduced into our legal system. You'd have to take the good with the bad, or lose the good with the bad.
Well, but see, I've said this too about like very high profile cases that get blown up, right? Like, how can you really expect 12 people on a jury to be non-biased when they've heard about all this on the news?
Okay, well, if you're talking about a jury trial, if you're talking about a jury trial, it is part of our rights to be tried by a jury of our peers.
I know, but
your peer.
But would you feel like if you were the subject of a high-profile case, like take Trump's case, for example, right? Everybody in the country around the world has heard about everything that's happened with that case. I guarantee you every juror on that fucking jury has heard all about it before they became the juror. But at the end of the day, they're still human, and they have in the back of their head, they might already have made up before they even hear the evidence. I don't like this motherfucker because of political reasons. I'm going to just vote him guilty anyway. You know, that's what I'm saying is like everybody's in their own mind. Can they truly really be non-biased?
Sure. But they interview
at the
them and
end
they
of the day.
try to
Can you
weed
trust
them out
that
as
12
best they
people
can.
can be non-biased on a jury?
Yeah, so they interview them and they try to weed them out as best they can so that they've got people
Right.
who make fair
But
decisions.
the people lie
without
too. That's what I'm
prejudice.
saying.
I know people
You
lie.
could ask somebody, are you racist? And they say, nope. But at the end of the day, they might not like certain
Well,
minorities.
usually when you're in trial, it's not because it's
You know?
there's cases that are open and shut and everything, but then there's others that are open to interpretation, and that's one thing that an AI can't really do.
Yeah.
I mean, but do you get what I'm saying though? Like, if it's a case that's not high profile and most likely none of the jurors have heard about it, you might have more of a fair shake. But I feel like if your case is blown up in the news and everybody's heard about it, I feel like you really might not have a fair shake with 12 random people on a jury that at the end of the day are human and
That's
may
true.
have
You might
already-
not, but I'm not sure an AI would be an improvement yet.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it would, but it would be curious to see a mock-up case done with some AIs. Like not a real case, but just to see if you could introduce all the laws for that state and you say you have to follow the letter of the law, non-biased, you put all that in there and then just let the AI like do the case.
But
and see what
the
it comes
problem
up with.
is you're feeding it case law that has been determined by people. So you're introducing the case laws and precedents of previous trials that may also include those same prejudices.
I can
That's
just
true
imagine.
too.
Off with his head.
But it would be
It
curious.
feels
I think it would be interesting to see though. Just to
The
see
thing
what
is,
how it would play
that's
out.
really what human decision making is about. And I think when it comes to the people in the jury not being influenced, I think it comes down to how they can be manipulated by certain things in the mainstream media. So if you were a legal team wanting to influence, let's say if there was no rules around what you could do and the jurors were allowed to watch as much TV and go on the internet as much as they wanted and be influenced as much as possible, if that were the case, then the legal teams could do things that would sway them on particular, very specific subjects during the trial. So that would make it kind of dangerous. So that's why.
Why are you leaving,
the
Paul?
message from Joe.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, you're good. I can shut it down whenever everybody
Okay,
else
we
wants
want
to.
make your host.
Well, I'm going to drop out.
Yeah,
in a
make me
bit,
host.
so catch you all later.
Okay.
You weren't even
Well,
here
David.
anyway. You kept leaving while we were trying to talk to you.
No, I was dealing with the other one in the other room. You know how it is.
Oh, Laura, yes, yeah.
Now
Okay,
I could have just
I
stayed here
apologize.
and
I take my
let you
last
get
comment back.
abused. There you go.
Told you what was going on, man.
You mentioned Laura. I completely I spoke out of turn. Sorry.
I will graciously accept your apology.
He's in a real good mood right now.
So Justin, like I was saying, that's the reason
Catch you all
why
later.
it's so important to keep them out of keep them off media. See you, David. Take care. So that was my point. Is to keep them
I
off media. So
understand
they don't get
that,
influenced at the time.
but I'm saying like you could have most of what was said about somebody up to the point you become a juror.
Sure.
And
yeah,
say like I said, Trump's case is a perfect example, right? He was tried in New York.
Sure.
New York is predominantly Democrat.
See, everyone's biased.
They might not like him on a political basis.
Sure, but whether they know that or not, everyone's biased. But the thing is, my point is that by having people restricted to what they can do, watching and picking up and being influenced by mainstream media, that's the reason why they don't do it whilst they're involved in a court case, because they can be influenced ad hoc, and very specifically.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
to
understand
the
that,
effect of.
But like I said,
you see what
most
I
of
mean.
the jurors may have heard about that case before they became the
Sure.
juror, though. That's what I'm saying.
But you
And
can't
so
help
they
that.
may-
Everyone has. Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
you're a mass murderer and everybody, we might all know that you actually did what you did, but with our laws, we have to prove it in court. It's all about what you can prove, right? So, but some of the jurors might be on that jury like, motherfucker, we know you did it. And in the back of their head, they're like, we're going to convict you regardless of what your lawyer says.
Well, maybe
I
that
just, I think
nuance-
the human element sometimes isn't the best
Good.
element.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Well, maybe that nuance is what is the advantage of having a human jury.
It's just like like look at a lot of traffic jams and car wrecks. Most of them are caused by human error. So I
All
don't
of
think
them.
the human
All of
element, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the human element is always the right answer.
Yeah.
If we have, I'm not saying AI should do court cases. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. And it's
Everybody's
also-
always like, we should leave the human element in it. Well, the human element's not always the best thing in some
Yeah, well,
cases.
I mean, it is everything, and the and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's completely normal. I mean, people wonder about it and talk about fault and all that sort of thing. Well, if you've got traffic moving around every day to that extent, things will happen as a consequence. Nothing to do about it. Doesn't mean it's good or bad or anything really. It's just the consequence of moving around with a car close to people.
And no, a human element is not necessarily more accurate, but say it is you who is on trial for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be any big type of case. It could be just a property rights type case, anything. And the computer, the AI, spits out the result and says, nope, you're guilty. You can't look at the computer. The computer can't look at you. You would complain about it. You'd say, a machine did this. It wasn't people. And you would in your heart know that if it was you could have just talked to a person. I mean, when you call up and get a automated phone system, what do you want? You just want to talk to a person, right? Imagine that same thing, but now it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to fix a property rights issue that was something that or even you're going to jail.
No, I
based
agree
on a
with you
computer
on
reaction.
that.
You're gonna
I'm saying
you're
not
gonna
all
complain.
things,
I wanted a person. I wanted peers.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with you on that. I think some things there should be, but I don't think it's always the answer is what I'm saying.
Right. It would be interesting to see them do a A/B testing on court cases to see how an AI would react. Or even, AI that's one thing that would probably be happening first is an AI analysis of all of the data involved in the laws and the data involved in the case. An AI summary and analysis would probably be the first thing that would be introduced into the court system if you're talking about AI. And then people would still be responsible for reading it and determining whether or not it holds water.
I think it'd be interesting to have AI fed all the information from an existing trial going on, and at the end of it,
that would be
it made compared with what the judge made or the jury made.
That would be cool. That would be interesting. Let's see here. Upload.
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. What you watching?
Sure.
Let's do all three of them at once. Castville. Monet. Malvernon.
took a magic eraser yesterday and took all the grass off of this thing. And it smells like fresh cut grass.
Nice. Love that smell.
The whole drone was green yesterday. I think I'm gonna take this and sell it separately without the battery, just as the body only replacement drone. I could probably get about, they're selling them right now on eBay for about $489 to $500. I think I can get about 400 for it. If I get 400 for it, I've got the Avata 2 coming in, and I'm selling the goggles and the motion controller. And by the time I sell this one and all of that, it's only going to cost me about $200 for the Avata 2, and I'll still have an Avata 1. Sounds like a plan.
I thought you were already getting all the money back for the Avata 2.
Well, I got the
And the-
money back. I had to order another one. But to order another one, you can't get the, I've been talking back and forth to about 4 different places. And they're telling me they have no ETAs on when they're gonna start allowing them to start selling the Avata by itself.
Yeah.
They said they can't even get them. And I said, well, how long do you think it's gonna take? And one guy said, they've been told 7 to 10 days for the last month. So he said, so eventually it's gonna be 7 to 10 days from when they tell them. But he said, but it could be August, September. He says he has a gut feeling it's gonna be more like September.
Have you not checked DJI's website?
Yeah, it's all pre-order. Everything's pre-order.
What
I
that
called
at?
DJI. I asked DJI, and DJI told me, unfortunately, they're on pre-order. We can't tell you when we're going to release them. They got them, but they're not releasing them yet. Best Buy doesn't have the individual by itself.
Oh, the single? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the single by itself. And Best Buy here had one, a Flymore kit, and I clicked on it, and they said sold out after they said one available. So
But you should have asked DJI. So if I had Care Refresh, how would you be sending me a replacement drone?
Oh, they
Are you
have them.
sure you want to
That's
get
what I'm
another one, Joe?
Yeah.
And
Get another one.
just take one off the line and put it in a box and get to you.
That's what they
Yeah,
do. They got
exactly.
them.
As
Hey,
far as
Joe,
putting up-
you can send me 200. I'll send you a brick because that's what it's going to be in like 6 months.
No, it's not. I don't believe that.
Yeah, but we also didn't think it would get this, or people didn't think it would get this far.
I don't think it'll be bricked up.
Well, let's hope not. Anyway, let's be optimistically pessimistic.
I think what's going to happen is, I think now it's to the point where there's going to be lawsuits filed, and the lawsuits going to be filed in behalf of all of the first responders.
I
And
hope
they're
so.
going to really jump on it
Yep.
and going to open it
I hope
all up.
so. I hope you're right. And if that's the case, then I might consider buying a drone. Till then,
still-
I can invest my money other places.
Yeah, I'm still confused on it being a 5-year ban. If you banning them because you feel it's a threat to national security, what? They ain't gonna be a
Why
threat
we have them
to
for 5 years?
5 years later. They ain't gonna be a threat to national security 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So
I
that
think,
don't
Joe-
even make sense right there. That right there just kills the whole concept of why you call
Yeah.
yourself banning these drones.
Yep.
It's almost as if they're lying, isn't it? It's almost as if it's fuck all to do with, safety or security and whatnot. And it's the
Yeah.
same old bollocks that gets trawled out as well, isn't it? It's for your
Oh, I
own
know that.
safety.
That
I don't know
right
if they're
there
lying or
kills
not.
the whole argument. That right there
See,
kills
I
the
don't know
whole
if they're I don't know if they're lying
Yeah,
or not, but
proves
I know
they're
they're
lying.
not telling the truth.
What do you mean?
So
If I'm banning something for the national security of my country, I'm not gonna unban it 5 years from now. That don't even make no sense. It's got to be a bunch of bullshit. Excuse me.
it
Well,
is a
no,
bunch
Yeah.
of bullshit.
don't excuse
That's
the
what I'm
language.
saying.
It's got to be a
I
bunch
said
of
they
bullshit.
may not be lying right now, but they're sure not telling the truth.
Yeah, that killed everything for me right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can play this game and tell you
But would you
what.
be all right with that, Joe? If they said we'll
Hmm.
give you 5 years grace, because I think you said the other day, didn't you, that in 5 years the drones will probably be obsolete. So what would it matter?
No, I didn't say that. Justin said that, I
Well,
think.
oh, was it okay?
I actually do think, I think that it's all gonna blow over eventually some kind of way. Where
Sure, but
somebody's gonna make sense of this.
right, but hypothetically, if they did say 5 years, would that be all right with you? Would you be cool with it?
No, we're not.
No. Okay.
I don't think they need to. Now in 5 years, if they do it that way, it may be 5 years that. See, DJI is already starting to push to help. Like
Yeah.
they said, well, we're not going to upload files to the cloud anymore. So that was one of the big. So if we don't have the files, why are you still doing this? I think DJI doesn't want to lose this money, and I think DJI is going to turn around and either find out how to open in the United States or do something like that and maybe appease everybody. Because I was at Sam's yesterday pumping gas. I was standing there with my shirt that said commercial pilot on it, and this older guy was standing on the other side pumping gas, looked over at me and says, you 107? I said, yeah. He said, what do you think about this DJI ban? Now that was somebody else. I have no idea who he was at the point at that time. And I said, I think it's ridiculous because they're not telling us what's going on. And he said, you're right. He said, I've been called. He said, I don't know what to do about it. I said, Drone Advocacy Alliance, and get the letter. So I contacted your senators, your congressmen, everybody else, and tell them what you do with drones and why you don't think they need to be banned, and that it's going to cost lives and everything else. He says, yeah, that's true. So you see, I think when it comes down to it, somebody's going to have common sense somewhere.
Yeah, there's an adult in a room somewhere,
hits.
I'm sure.
We hope the common sense hits.
Yeah.
What do you mean an adult in the room?
Well, hopefully that's hopefully it's going to be obvious to someone at least that this is bullshit and it needs to be resolved in an adult way.
Oh, they probably realize that. They just don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck, and there's some corruption going on. It's in somebody's financial interests to do this, and it's against the whole notion of commercial meritocracy and all sorts of anti-competitive bullshit as well. It's so awful. It's real third world bullshit. I hate it.
Right.
I mean, that's not how you get ahead. It's not good for anyone. Customers, business, no good for anyone. There's nothing good about what they're doing.
Right.
So I see it's got to be, someone has got to have a finger in a pie or thumb in a pudding, whatever you want to call it. Someone's benefiting. I've got to do a thing. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't even think that they want to benefit. They want to benefit off of they want their piece of the pie of this hobby, okay? Because this hobby has a lot of money rotating through it. But now, like everyone has already stated, you're not giving us what we need to say, okay, we want your product. So now you're mad about that, and you're already mad at China from political reasons. You're trying to use that. You're trying to use that. So now you figure if you shut them out with this drone, that we're gonna be forced to buy what y'all offer. I don't know about y'all. If they shut it down with DJ, I'm not buying nothing. Nothing. And it ain't
there isn't anything to buy.
The difference between a lot of people is you got a lot of people that just want to buy because it's made in the US. I don't care who make what, man. Last I checked, I've been wearing Fruit of the Loom since I was a kid. They say made in China. We ain't had no problem with it then.
But like I said,
now
there's a bigger picture nobody's seeing is you're starting to see a lot of American companies exit China because they're going to India and Mexico because the labor costs are now cheaper there.
Yeah,
We're
I'm hearing
starting to
about
see the
early thoughts,
government
man.
ban more stuff. What I think they're trying to do in the long run is they're trying to get rid of China.
Yeah, but
China's
why?
gotten
Why? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are
because
you
it's
trying to get rid of China so bad? Why are you going to try to get rid of China so bad that you're literally going to take out of not just the hobbyist hands, but your own government hands
because
something
the
that
drone
helps
thing is
us?
just one tiny piece of a much larger pie that's going on right now.
Yeah, and it's going to
They
hit.
don't
It's going to
want
hit like a much larger pie because a lot of ways you're going to end up giving the people their money back. I don't care how you look at it, and it ain't
dude,
going to
when
come
it
out of
comes
China pocket. It's going to come out of United States pocket.
when it comes down to it, it's all about world dominance. The US wants to stay on top, and so do
Yep. Breaking up, Justin.
Just
That Chinese mic.
oh, Justin, where you go? We can't hear
Chinese
you.
Temu mic.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it. Now what you
Okay,
saying?
so what I was saying is the problem is the US wants to stay on top. They don't want China getting bigger than them, and neither do a lot of the US's allies. So I think what they're trying to do is they're going to slowly bankrupt China. They're going to slowly start pulling stuff out. They're going to start banning stuff because the thing is India and Mexico don't have the same goals and the same type of ambitiousness that China has. China wants to become a superpower like the US. India and Mexico don't really care to take on that role. So I think that's one of the biggest things is they don't want China getting into that role or threatening the US economy. And so that's why you're starting to see American companies pull out. You're starting to see more Chinese stuff getting banned. I think the drone thing is such a tiny, tiny piece of that. It doesn't make a difference. I really think that there's something behind the scenes that's way larger that everybody's not
What's
seeing.
larger is the airspace. This is monetization of airspace. That is
I
all
think
it's
all
about.
that shit is all just excuses that they're giving you for the drones. But
Well,
I'm
yeah, they're
saying
giving
the
you a bunch of
drones, I
excuses.
think, are such a tiny sliver of something much bigger that's going on in the background. Like I said, just look at all the American companies that are starting to leave China and move to India and Mexico. Manufacturing costs are going up in China every year. They're not the cheapest labor force anymore.
You got your country beefing with their country. It's in their best interest to get up out of there.
Well,
That way
that's
they
what I'm
don't start
saying.
looking at you funny.
But the thing is all these CEOs, all these government officials, dude, they have these mass meetings every year behind closed doors. I guarantee you I could be 100% wrong, but I have a feeling that they're trying to bankrupt China. And if they can slowly wing themselves off of China and move to other places, China has no foothold anymore.
I think the whole
And then
stitching China up thing is a
and then
bonus.
China gets knocked back 20 years in progress.
Yeah, that's just a bonus along the way. But ultimately, what they want to do is they want to monetize the air.
Because I mean,
they want to be able to control it.
In reality, and I'm going to ask people from other countries that are on the panel, obviously Mark and Cool Cat. Would you rather, because obviously somebody has to be the dominant force in the world. That's just the way that the world works, right? There's always a country that's the dominant global power. Would you rather it be the US or China at the end of the day?
Obviously, yeah, you want it to be the US.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather them not ban us from using these drones that we bought.
No, but I'm saying it has nothing to do with the drones. What I'm saying is it comes down to geopolitics at the end of the day.
Given the choice between China and the US, I'd have to pick the US, but under different leadership than.
Right, but I'm saying you guys align more with our values and the way we live our lives than you do with China.
But the thing is, it's like holding. Listen, Justin, it's like holding it hostage. It's like holding the air hostage. I don't think and it's a false choice. We don't need to choose between who controls the skies. I don't think that's a choice at all. We don't need to have anyone telling us what we can do and charging us for, for using it. That's the thing. That's the difference. I don't want China or America telling me what I can do safely, with my own shit.
No, I don't think that any of that shit's going to be in place if it's not a non-Chinese drone. Like I said, I think that if this was Paradenofi was the dominant drone company in the US, I don't think you'd be having any of these issues, to be honest. I think it's because it's Chinese, and I think the larger geopolitics that's going on with China, and if you're looking at all the other shit that's going on in the world that has nothing to do with drones, but lines with Chinese products, dude, they're trying to I think they're going to try to slowly bankrupt China. And that's why Taiwan's such a strategic importance, right? Because they don't want China getting their hands on all the chip manufacturing.
Sure. Yeah, no, you're right there.
Like I said,
I 100% agree with.
If Taiwan was a third world shithole island, they wouldn't give two shits about that. Taiwan.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to knock down China a peg or two to where they can't get close to the US's dominance around the world.
Yeah. I just think it's bonus. I don't think that's the sole purpose for all this at all, or like the reason or the fundamental key issue. I just think it's a bonus if you can piss China off or, have them lose out somehow.
But like I said, the one advantage the US has is most of the very modern nations in the world are all very much intertwined with the US. As far as being allies, military allies, major, trade partners, where China's main alliances are really kind of shithole countries that don't really have a huge stance on the global stage.
Yeah.
So that's the one advantage the US has. A lot of the European countries, Japan, Australia, these are all very strategic military partners.
I know what you mean. Obviously, they're not European, but I know what you mean.
Saying,
Western
Europe and all those.
They're not Western, not European, but democratic, modern democratic countries associated with, like G7.
And if you took just the European and the US economy and put them together, it'd be so massive China would never be able to touch it. Right? But that's the kind of alliances the US has versus China doesn't really have any. I mean, what, Russia's economy's in the tank. North Korea, I mean, come on, please. North Korea is a big joke. Anybody who thinks North Korea is actually going to be able to do anything, I laugh at that.
The Russian war economy
when people say, "Oh, North Korea, they're going to attack us." No, they're not. Dude, they're using tanks and planes from the 60s. Come on now.
Yeah, so
they don't have the military budget or the means or even the research and development money to even really start off a war.
Yeah, so the Russian war economy is doing very well. It's flying, apparently.
Well, I'm saying, but look at dude, Russia has lost more soldiers in a 2-year period than we lost in 20 years being in 2 major wars. That's pretty sad. Well, that's the difference. That shows you the difference.
The unfortunate thing is that it can play. The unfortunate thing is that Russia can play that war of attrition with Ukraine because it knows that Ukraine has limited numbers of capable combat-ready soldiers. And as fast as it might think it can breed them or whatever, it's not going to do it in time. Ukraine cannot play the war of attrition. It cannot grind its numbers of soldiers down because just for numerical reasons, it's the maths.
But that goes to show you the difference in military quality, training, tactics.
Well, it's a shitty tactic.
If it was the US doing the Ukraine thing, they would have had that country taken within a week or 2.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, granted, there would have been some guerrilla warfare going on, but the US has also been highly diverse in that because of Afghanistan and Iraq.
Sure, but let's be real. I mean, that's the type of war that they're dealing with, and that is the reality of it, and Russia will be filling its soldiers' heads full of, patriotic nonsense and sending them out there to go and die for their country or for Putin.
But see, I always tell people, I've always told people, especially after the last 2 years, that if Russia is considered the second best military in the world, and the way
It's
they've
not.
handled Ukraine,
Mm.
I would never doubt the US military ever again. Because they have absolute garbage when it came to Ukraine. They have, I mean,
Well, here's the thing:
it's just-
Russia hasn't really unpacked any of its serious kit yet. I mean, and they've already made a huge impact. What they're essentially doing is they're just training and feeling out the ground, the territory. It's like a foot in a pool, just seeing what the temperature is, seeing what happens. Any notable strategic advantages they can get for finding out what they're willing to do. And that's really what has happened, the first year. There's no time constraints for Russia. They're not bothered. And so,
but
they
they
can,
also don't care about their guys neither because
that's it. Well, that's it.
That's
they
a
know
bad,
that
sad thing.
it's sad, of course, and bad. We can attribute many things to it, but that's what they're prepared to do. Like I say, they fill their heads full of, this kind of patriotic propaganda, and they say, for Mother Russia, go for it. And there's enough patriotic, good Russian people to go and do that, to go and do something shitty. And that's how you play it, I guess, for Putin. It's so fucked up. And this could have been, I think this could have been avoided, and established some real advantages through just talking about it, just a diplomatic solution to this problem.
Well, I mean, just look at their well, one of the major problems Russia had with Ukraine is their logistics is horrible. And that's just going from their border into another country. Like I said, the one biggest thing when it comes to militaries is logistics is one of the most important things.
It's always been the same. It's always been the same. The army marches on its stomach, all sorts of things. Logistics is what it's all about, And if you can't feed your soldier, you're not going to win.
It's how you can move equipment, how well you can move supplies. All that's a very important thing, and they've absolutely been dog shit at it.
But again, I think that what we're seeing is we're seeing a toe in the water. They're seeing where their own system is failing and working. Because some people might say, well, why are they starting this war? And when it's so cold and the tanks can't move around and there's mud as well at some points and all this sort of thing. Well, I think that maybe that's just the way that they want to. It's a different psychology. It's a different approach to warfare. I mean, for instance, here's the thing interesting I found out a little while ago is that Russian jets aren't really. Here's the thing: if you go into a Western airfield where military jets are, you'll have people walking up and down the runway, like almost hand in hand, looking for small objects that might get sucked into an engine or whatnot. When it comes to Russian military airfields and places where they can take off, they make sure that there are roads designed where jets can land, for one, and they make sure that the jet engines themselves and the aircraft are robust enough to be able to swallow pretty much anything. This thing is, the Russian jets can kind of chug down a couple of traffic cones, spit them out, and carry on flying. And that's just the way they're built. It's a different kind of approach. So that's what we're dealing with.
But if you also look at the way the U.S. has introduced a lot of U.S. equipment in Ukraine, I mean, it just goes to show you the difference in quality because the U.S. weapons have just been absolutely decimating Russia.
Yeah, I agree. The U.S. the Western
US is
weapons
only using Ukraine to get rid of shit that we're about to decommission, and it's a way to test out weapons without them having to do it, right? They could say, yeah, here, we'll give you guys 100 javelins, take them out and see how they do on those Russian tanks.
Yeah, and it's almost like an R&D. Yeah,
Right.
exactly that, because it's like an R&D. They're getting people to test them in the field.
Right.
And so it's well worth them sending all that sort of thing in because they can put that new gleaned data and what they find out from those weapons into their next variation, into the latest iteration of their weapons.
Right.
But,
so it's a proxy war, is what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically all it is. It's a proxy war. They don't really care about Ukraine. Honestly, they don't, because they know Russia's not gonna attack any of the NATO countries around there. Russia's not that stupid. I mean, at the
Well,
end of
here's
the
the
day,
thing.
Russia's not that dumb.
Yeah, there
They
are
know,
some.
they just wanna test out weapons, that's all. When it comes down to it, the US, Britain,
That
anybody
good-
who's sending weapons to Ukraine, it's all just a test
Yeah.
field.
Well, there are
Russia
some.
is that dumb. I don't know if y'all remember how this started, but for Russia, it started as a training exercise. A lot of them dudes told they was going on a training
Right,
exercise.
but Ukraine
No, no,
wasn't
no.
part of NATO,
Let me
though.
explain. Let me
They
explain.
stepped out like, hey,
The-
I don't want this fight. We
The
debate.
position of their troops, they used the training exercise as an excuse. The Russians knew what they were going to do.
Oh, the US
And the
knew what they
positioning
were
of their
doing.
troops. No, hang on, Justin. Just wait a second. It won't take long. Well, here's the thing. When they said, "Why are you positioning your troops along our border?" That's Ukraine saying this. They said it's a training exercise. Of course, it wasn't. They'd fully planned to invade, but they just told them that that's what they're doing because they wanted to position their pieces, as it were, before they took the first move. And that's what happened. It happened in Israel when the Egyptians said, this is before the 6-Day War, right? And they said, oh, we're having this display. This is a military display we're having, right? And so they had lots of fighter jets in the air. And Israel thought, well, hang on a minute. They might use this as an excuse and a time to attack, because they'll think our guard is down. And they were right. They were spot on. And Israel was ready and they were prepared for those Egyptian jets to start attacking. And so they defended with rockets and whatnot and stuff like that, and defended successfully and won the 6-Day War because they anticipated it. But by no means should we imagine that that was a real training exercise. It wasn't. It was a lie told to cover the movement of the troops.
Well, like I said, the US knew what they were doing, but you got to remember too, Ukraine isn't part of NATO. So
No,
that's what
right.
I'm saying.
They're trying to.
Russia's never gonna. I don't think Russia's stupid enough. Putin's not that dumb. He's not gonna attack a NATO country. Those
I agree,
countries
yeah.
around there, I don't think have anything to worry about at the end of the day. Should they be on alert? For sure. But would an attack ever happen? No, because all those NATO countries all have US bases in them. They have NATO
Yeah.
bases, their own military bases. They're
was,
not going to
there
attack
was-
anywhere where there's US bases like that. I
There
mean,
was a
that's
country.
just asking for
Yeah, there was
trouble.
a country, I think it's Iceland, and I'm not sure, but I think just became a member of NATO the last 6 months or so. But was it Iceland, something like that? But everyone is kind of rushing to get aboard the NATO train because, of course, they don't want to, they have that protection. That's what it gives.
Because
But
to
there
be
was,
honest with you, I think if the US and Russia went head to head and you took the nukes out of it, I think we'd absolutely kick their ass
Yeah, I don't think there'd
at
be
the
much.
end of the day.
Yeah, there's not much competition there at all.
I'm saying you just take all allies out of it, you take nukes out of it, and just one-on-one, I think we would absolutely kick the living shit out of
Sure,
them.
but you never underestimate anyone, But yeah, America are a very strong force. They've got a great army.
And apparently a better cricket team than anybody actually thought as well.
And the cricket team.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, and we're World War champions twice in a row.
And we beat UK. British, we beat them. Undefeated there too.
Stop the violence, people. Stop the violence.
We let you win. Didn't we, Mark?
Yeah,
The
we
only,
lulled
the
them
only place we lost,
we
we called it a
lulled them
conflict. We didn't call it a war.
false security.
The British
And we really
let
did
us
lose.
win our independence because they knew our independence would someday result in me.
You got it. It's a theory.
That's a good theory, is it?
It is a theory.
We let you win so we can come hang out with y'all. That's why I'm here.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know,
right
some,
now,
some of you guys were all right.
second ago, I had to run out. I missed it. The garbage truck.
Oh,
They
okay.
moved our day from Tuesday to Friday. And
Focus.
so I still have not gotten on the schedule to get the
Yeah.
trash out on Friday morning.
Yeah,
You need to put you a sticky note in the bathroom. When you get up in the morning, it says trash day on Friday, just pick it up and go. Walk around like that.
I remind you next Friday down on mine is always on Friday.
Yeah, it just, I heard it. I was like, that can't be thunder. We're not supposed to get any weather coming in. It's
Mine's Thursday.
junk, junk, junk.
My
What
trash
time is
day
it for you
is
fine dudes
Any
across
day
the
I
pond?
take it out.
For
Yeah,
me, it's 11:30 right now.
Okay.
6 hours for Don, 5 hours for Ollie Coast.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mark.
But that being said, I've done with my edits, and I've been on here way too long. I need to go out and get some things done out in the yard real quick before it gets
Okay.
too hot.
I'm about at that same point.
Because I need
Hey,
to get back in and
spent too much
take a
money today.
shower before dinner tonight.
What
Hey,
time?
Great day anyway.
Lance and Dre.
Donna, what time is it? On your clock.
11:30, you said.
Me?
Yeah.
11:30.
12:31. 11:30 your month time.
Man, you got about 20 minutes. You better hurry up.
For what?
Before it's too hot.
It doesn't get, it's still probably, it's getting warm out right now, but around 2 o'clock is when the heat of the day just gets oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
You want, cat?
So.
I see what I'm eating today.
Considering the maximum temperature is going to be 15 degrees centigrade today, I don't think I need to worry about it getting too hot.
I don't know what that is.
Echo, what's 15 degrees centigrade in Fahrenheit?
15 degrees Celsius is 59 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go. 59.
59? Oh my gosh, that's nice. It's
Hey.
already, right now it is creeping on 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, we never get that high.
Yep.
Echo.
I need to get that pool open this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Can you say it again?
Anyway,
Oh,
I'll see you guys
my
later.
God.
Echo, what's 32 degrees centigrade in Fahrenheit?
32 degrees Celsius is 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go. 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit is the hottest temperature that's ever been recorded in the UK.
Well, that's what it is right now here. So.
That's some insane shit. Yep, I've got to go too. So I'll see you guys in a bit, all right? Take it easy. Thanks for the chat, everyone. It's been emotional. See you soon.
Been emotional.
Emotional.
Oh my God, yeah, it's starting to turn up, Joe.
What do you mean? The
The
heat?
heat. Yeah,
Yeah.
starting to turn up.
Where the hell is offer at? I just had an offer is gone. See, it might be in a cart.
Coming in?
I'm looking at the Wendy's app. They've got a special out right now. You buy the Baconator and you get one free. Buy one, get one free. So for like $6, you get 2 of those big Baconator burgers. That's not a bad deal.
Bacon, egg, burger.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's big. It was on there, now I don't see it.
You want 2 of them?
Well, if I pay $6, I get 2, like $3 a piece, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And sometimes it's cheaper for me to do that and eat one today and one tomorrow than to cook.
Yeah, that's it. I've still got half of my pizza from yesterday to eat today, so
Yeah, I got to get out and go back in.
it was a 14-inch pizza, mind you, but
Sweet deals. Not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that Baconator, bitch. Well, it says it on the thing, then it don't show no more.
I got a
Yeah.
box of
Burger.
6 macaroni cheese bites. They're a bit like
That's just
What's
in my
it?
cart.
bit like hash browns, only made with macaroni cheese.
Okay, the Baconator, $7.69. Okay, it's 2 burgers, bacon, cheese, loaded. Okay, $7 for $3.25. Or $3.75. I'm getting 2.
That sounds like a winner.
I'm telling you. I gotta find out if it's gonna give me buy one get one free. Oh, see, it's not doing it. It's telling me it's gonna be $15. I ain't buying that. I want the special. Where the freaking special's at?
It might be expired.
No, it just came on email. Just did. Just
So
came
the
in the email.
date on the email. I mean, not on the email, but on the on the email, on whatever they
Yeah,
sent
I'm
you. Look
looking
at
at it. I'm gonna look and see if I can do it on email.
Email to tell you when it starts.
Yeah, tell you when it starts and when it expires.
Well, when I pulled the app up, it was there. When I hit use this coupon, it disappeared.
Well, maybe it'll only actually apply the coupon when you go to checkout.
Yeah, it's like a freaking lost
Sam,
transmission, like a drone.
You pulled the app up, the coupon showed up.
Yeah, the app it was on the coupon.
Coupon
And then when
the coupon had already been on there, but you just now happen to be opening the app, so you just now seeing that the coupon was there, but it probably expired.
No, I just got the email. So
You
the
just
email
got-
just came in.
Oh,
So
that's
the email
strange.
saying there's something brand new.
Well,
know?
put it on. Go into checkout. Don't pay for it. Just go into checkout and see what it does. See if it applies the coupon. Then
It didn't apply the coupon. I already tried.
all right.
So I'll play with it. I'm gonna get out of the app and go back. But the email, let me look at the email. So
Yeah, go back.
Email just came out. What the time is it? It's 17 minutes ago. Because you can get the big one or the little one. And it said, it might be this weekend. It said, don't make your day at 5 to grill this weekend.
And started. Well, today's Friday. It is the weekend.
It should start today. It might be tomorrow though.
Look for the date, Joe.
It don't have a date. It says order now. I'm gonna try order now here and see what the freaking say. When I say order now on a computer, it puts me a little freaking dancy cup going like this, and that's all it's doing. Got a little freaking frosty going like this. This is shits. Technology, wonderful, huh? I'll try it a little bit later. I'll give it a break and then I'll go back. It says this weekend. If it don't work today, it might work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
No, I went on Best Buy, and because Johnny said something to me yesterday, and I started thinking about it. I didn't know how long it was going to take. He says you'll be able to sell these goggles and a motion controller because there's people with the Air 4, and I mean the Air 3 and the Mini 4 Pro that are going to want to fly with those, you know. And I said, yeah. I said, let me see what they cost. So I looked at the thing. I'm dropping the price. Yeah, I'm dropping the price just a little bit. So it's worth me doing that because I'm picking up 3 batteries and a new charging hub, you know, and then I could I sell that and then I sell just this body. I'm getting almost all that money back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not only getting all that money back, but I'm getting that other money. So I'm only probably into it for about $150 for the whole setup.
Yeah, I heard that the goggles are compatible with the Air 3, but I don't want no. I love my sticks, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't do the wanker.
Well, well, we flew Johnny's Air 3 with the goggles, and I tell you what, it was pretty cool.
It was nice,
But
right?
the only thing Johnny didn't like about it, he said, he just feels that because he's using the motion controller, that he think he's flying FPV. You
Oh,
know?
he used motion control. So he wasn't able to do it with the sticks?
He didn't do it with the sticks. He did it with the motion controller. But there's supposed to be a way you could do it with the sticks. But he was flying it with the motion controller, and he said, "Here, look at it like that." And I pulled it over and I did it for a minute. And I'm telling you, it just feels so different.
Yeah.
But the same thing is you'll be working with and then thinking all of a sudden, hey, is this the Avata? What am I flying? You know? And then you don't think about it and you try to go through something. You know, you'd have to know what you're flying. But I think it would work like the goggles Integra will work with the Mavic 3. I think if you got a real bright day and you're having a problem and you put the Integra goggles on, I think you got a better view. You'll get a better view in the long run. But then again, you need a VO and everything else. But there's gonna be people that'll fly it, you know. So we'll see. But I took this one right here, and I just relisted it and took the battery off of it. So I told them, because they want $549 for just the drone body. Anywhere between $500 and $549. That's the price it's going for. So I'm gonna put just the body out there and give them the extra propellers and a little extra junk, and say 400. If I get 400 for it, and I put that with the other 800, I'm losing about 200 in the deal. So I'm getting like a Flymar kit for 400. I'm going for 200. So I'm gonna try to manipulate it that way, and I'll still have a Nevada because I have one that's got 10 flights on it. I stopped flying it when I started flying this one when I started getting crazy. Because I said, well, if I'm gonna lose one, I'm gonna lose one with 70 flights, you know. But and this one, if somebody buys it, he'll have carry refresh till next year, next April. Well, that's 400. I think I'll put it like this. I got it on eBay for 400. So we're gonna see. I'll make out of that about 380, 350 on it, maybe about max with shipping and everything. And 350 is good. I could deal with that, you know.
Listen, one thing every FPV pilot swear by is that you're gonna crash. So get what? I ain't messing with it. I ain't messing with it.
Yep. Well, the only reason I crashed is because I started getting I got a little complacent. I'm gonna be honest, coming around that turn.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't worried about that turn because I'm going back over the lake, and I looked at that boat and took my eyes off the middle of the screen. But the more I look at that video, I still think I might have seen the pole where I could have veered, but I was going 18 miles an hour too. And normally I'm not going 18 miles an hour when I'm bringing it back to me. So it was a perfect storm, you know.
I still say lined up the way they lined up with the scenery as you was coming around, you just couldn't see it.
I couldn't. It blended right in.
Yeah,
I could see it on the video, but I bet you I didn't, because I know I didn't see it till I was right there.
Yeah,
it blended in that well, and I don't ever remember that pole being out there because when you look that way, it blends in with the water. But it made a pretty sound. I heard boom.
To the pretty sound.
Yeah. It came out, it was going boom like that. I heard that and I went, what the hell was that? Like that. And that's when I realized I hit it because I saw it the last minute and I thought I got out the way of it because I turned my wrist. When I saw it, I turned my wrist and I heard, like that. That boom. And I said, okay. And it still showed me a picture. And I said, and I went, with the up arrow to go up,
Mm-hmm.
and then my screen went blank. I went, damn.
Know what that is?
Yeah, I knew it was either in the water or it just broke or was about to be in the water. And I walked over, took the goggles still on my head, took them up, walked over, and the guy in the boat right there, I said, what did it hit? And he said, that pole. Like that. And I said, where the hell that pole came from? And he said, yeah, we heard it hit. We heard it coming. We looked and hit that pole perfect. He said, a piece of your drone's over there on the cement. That was one of the guards.
Yeah.
Fell off of it on the cement. He said, and when it hit, he said, I saw pieces fly everywhere. It just shattered.
Mm.
I said, oh yeah, I hit it really directly almost. I probably hit it on the angle like right here. So when I hit it like right here on the prop guard net, all of this probably took off. And that's where the guard probably flew off.
That looked like a headbanger, bro.
Well,
That looked like
pretty
a
good.
he was straight head first.
And on top, I had a little pelican flying on the top of it. It was floating in the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off.
The kid reached over there and picked it up and showed it to me. I said, you could have it. Well,
You're supposed to keep that. You're supposed to put that on the shelf in memory
yeah, I'm gonna
of.
jump off. I'm gonna jump off too there, Justin.
All right. Well, we might as well just end it then.
Yeah, let's shut it down. We'll get on later.
All right. I'll
I gotta
catch
go
y'all
do some
later.
stuff.
All
Everybody
right,
in the chat, we'll see you
Later,
later.
Jonathan.
later. See you this evening.